Hi there, good evening, welcome, and hello to all you fine, lovely, wonderful people at home. 'Tis I, Matt with Power, tonight's gracious host for The Shadows We Fear, here on Immersive Realms. I'm the aforementioned Matt with Power, and I'm joined by my not-so-mentioned yet players. Say hello, players.
Hello, players.
Hello, players.
Fantastic. Before we get into tonight's episode, we might have some announcements. So, Mr. Andy, do we have any announcements for this evening for our fine folk?
Just Sunday, 7:30 p.m. British time. We will have World of Erzia streaming as well, where I am your DM and your host, and Matt with Power and Ghost Melon here will be my players, as well as a few others, and we'll be continuing that. Also, next week, Sunday, World of Erzia might not be running, but I'll keep your eye out because there might be other things that's going on. Keep your eye out on Discord. We do have a certain person looking for players for a Doom one-shot. So, yeah, go and see your interest there, as our lovely community manager has put the links in the chat, so go and check that out. But yeah, back to you, DM.
Fantastic, thank you so much. And yes, if you are interested in the Doom one shot, please do let me know. However, I think we should jump back into tonight's episode of The Shadows We Fear. So, last we left off, the group took a unique trip down memory lane from a third-party perspective. Visions shown to them once before unseen by a bug witch, Madame Meyer. Now, some of these were direct memories. Some of them were direct at them and their experiences in younger life. Joel, for example, saw him and his brother when he was first picked up by Morgan. Lavender didn't see herself. Instead, she saw her mother pregnant with her. The deal that she made. Elril saw his brother and the fate that was chosen for him. Calanthier saw, well, a friend, shall we call them, and an old, mysterious book. And Falcorus didn't see anything personally to him directly, but more got some answers for a few questions around a particular ship. But the group all came to this realization and this unique experience, and all woke up in a room inside this abandoned amphitheater. Coming to consciousness, you guys quickly left the room, making your way down a trapped corridor that was very swiftly disarmed, and out into the center of this weird, out-of-place, dilapidated amphitheater, where the bug witch herself, Madame Meyer, introduced and, I don't want to use the word taunted, but kind of taunted you guys in her mysterious, word-twisting, fate-driven ways. She revealed herself to be more than just a witch, though, however. She revealed herself to essentially be fate itself, a not quite godlike entity, but something not too far from, willed into existence by mortals many thousands of years ago. During this conversation, a certain cleric in the group made a deal with the bug witch to cure her brother using the goblin hand that was very much on the no-go for the whole party, but used it anyway with the group's begrudging permission. The brother of the bug witch, a certain Wendigo that Joel had indeed faced down before in a dreamscape, emerged, but not feral and angry as before, but calm, communicating, and again, oh so sinister in the way that he talked. You guys took the piss out of his name, piss being the fucking key word there, and swiftly then left the amphitheater. As you guys were making camp in the Evergreen Forest, the Green Gorge Forest, sorry, you heard a familiar Wendigo having a bit of a run around the woods, clearly happy. And that was where we left off. You guys were making your plans to go and reunite with your crew. Well, the new crew, the new Mirage unit, somewhere out near Door Hill. You guys were going to go, for the sake of brevity, we're going to go south to pick up the horses and, importantly, Brownie, and then make your way then back over to this meeting place. You indeed head south. You get your horses unharmed, and Brownie, who is exceptionally happy to see you back, Lavender, and the second you guys come out the forest, he barrels over and knocks you down on your back and starts licking your face like a some sort of dog that's missed his owner. But you guys all saddle up. And what's the mood like between the guys after all these visions? That's just because not a lot of you guys have actually spoken about what you've seen. I can imagine that the visions are a little bit, the mood might be a bit tense or a bit, I use the word weird, but again, hesitant. Is there anything you guys like to say or do?
Nothing really. Falcoris will be quite quiet. You can definitely see on his face that he's very concentrating on tasks at hand and everything that's going on. But every now and then he'll shoot a ice cold look towards Joel.
Elrill's very somber, kind of reflecting quite a lot, so he's probably just staying quiet as well.
Joel, knowing that he's getting glared at and just will probably not care, but will also be weighed down by everything that he's got ahead of him. Kind of probably fidgeting with his amulet as he goes.
Yeah.
Pensive is the word.
What is happening? Why? What? You being attacked, brother? Brother, no, not like this. Apparently, my birth mother has decided to interrupt stream. I do apologize, viewers. Lewis, tell her to fuck off, man. We're busy.
Well, that's a wholesome way.
I'm gonna make like Chris Brown in a minute.
Don't do that.
Yeah, not
Slap Rihanna.
technical difficulties.
Yeah, good on it. Yeah, see, she said good on him.
Anyway,
Technical difficulties.
moving on.
I
Joel
have-
now armed with a feather duster. Ethereal, of course. Spiritual weapon is a mighty thing.
You're not getting that back.
We
Take this and run away.
the group travels east, crossing the Great Everby, well, going past it, probably going past Stow Lockwood. You can see off in the distance as you're going east, Horizon sits to your south. And again, Caliphy, that might trigger a little wince of a memory, seeing Horizon sitting there, tall and proud. But for the sake of brevity, you guys push on east, heading towards Doorhill. However, there's one night in particular where something, let's say, out of the ordinary happens. You guys are making camp, as you've done God's knows how many times at this point together in your traveling trio. Trio? There's more of that. Traveling quinto. And you setting up camp. Joel, you pull out your crock pot and start cooking up a meal. Of course, you're probably establishing the perimeter and where's a safe place to, keep watches. Elril, you're probably counting your gold. I don't know. Fucking who cares? You're not the broke in the party anymore.
Whoop whoop.
Lavender, you might be having a safe place to stay with the horses, and Brownie, making sure they're all well kept and clean and tidy and have a nice comfortable place to sleep. Calanthier, I don't know, looking at that glove mechanic again probably, or planning for your House of Iron, making some schemes and plans. As you're having this evening of rest and, just downtime, the silence takes you guys. Idle conversations have been filled throughout the day, and chit-chat amongst yourself, but this is one of those moments, it's not a rare moment at all, but where silence takes you all as you all just find yourself doing individual tasks. Joel, as you are sitting there, cooking away up whatever it is you've managed to fling together in this pot and letting the smells overtake you, you suddenly change your scenery. The rest of you.
These...
I was like, wait, he changes? What into what? But never mind.
A Wendigo.
Oh, no.
A minecart.
A Wendigo.
Does that mean I'll lose my
Well,
pigeon?
the rest of you. No, I'll come back to the rest of you in a minute, actually. Joel, as you're sitting there, and like so you're leaning over, cooking, stirring this pot, you look up at one point and you feel a twang of really bad heartburn. Really bad heartburn. And as you sort of... that uncomfortable, put your hand to your chest, you feel wet. And you look down and a sword has run you through. The tip of it poking out your sternum, right where your heart is. Your hand has been sliced by the blade and it is pouring blood at a natural rate. And I mean pouring your life juice away. You look and you can see feathers, black, silky, falling above you. Gently come down past your face. Occasionally one might stroke your cheek or rest upon your armor. Now the hand that brushed the blade drips crimson from light's touch, and a voice whispers on your ear. Now, I hope you're not planning on doing what I think you are you? You look over your shoulder, and you see an ungodly sight before you. You stand in the ruins of a city that you do not recognize. It's made up of temples for all the gods, in rows down a single straight street. You can see all these temples have been crumbled, have been broken, have been burned and desecrated in one way or another. And the bodies litter the floor. Blood is smeared everywhere. The stench is overpowering. It reminds you when you had that vision of that bug and the river ran red. Roaming around, taller than the buildings, you see huge skeletal creatures that walk on all fours. Large bony hands reach down and pick up the bodies, and one by one bring them up to their chests, where you can see tinier little hands grab onto the bodies and strip them of their weapons, clothes, skin, muscle, and organs. A crimson shower erupts from these bodies as it falls, and the bones that are left behind get drawn into these large skeletal creatures and then get moved around the body as if the creature is feeding and growing off the skeletal remains. Directly before you, you see a throne made of rubble and ruin. You can see the stone itself is made from the surrounding temples. However, the back piece is made of jet black stone that matches that of the Raven Queen's temple, that you had once visited. Sitting there, in the throne, the individual that you know as the Final Say sits, his hands on either side of the large pillar armrests, the helmeted head resting against the back of the black stone. The gods have grown tired, and I have only just woken up. I could have taken them down once before, when they were at full strength. Imagine what I could do now. I just hope, dear Joel, dear brother of chance, you stay in your line. No witch can change my fate, my destiny. So you suddenly have no chance. And as he stands up from the throne, what do you do?
Am I still like on the ground, like with a sword through my chest?
No, the sword is gone. But you still feel that heartburn. But you're probably like in that like sort of crouching position from when you were cooking, but you're not like restrained.
We all will stand up and sort of try and make eye contact behind his helmet.
Mm-hmm.
I'd hate to spill your blood on such holy ground. So say a quick prayer, and maybe I'll just break your neck.
Oh, brother. The pleasure will be all mine to finally meet you. I dare say, my warning has fallen on deaf ears. So come, bring your friends and your might.
You want me to come after you? before I'm ready.
Well, I've certainly got things to do. I'm in no rush to meet a weaker opponent such as yourself.
Well then, just hold tight. Rest assured, I'm coming.
I shall most eagerly await.
Just remember which one of us has fate on their side, and which one of us has the Queen's favor.
Oh,
Because I can assure you, you have neither.
You think the Bog Witch really knows you? You think she is going to help you?
I think she's been right so far.
Well, as a parting gift, consider yourself fortunate. There are no heroes in this land. Only the dead and you. And with that, there's a flurry of raven feathers that blow in your face, almost like caught in a strong wind, and you shut your eyes and you open, and you're now facing away from the crockpot as if you had physically turned your body around to talk to someone. The rest of you,
Wait a sec.
as you were doing about your merry businesses, you watched as Joel, those who might have seen it, Joel did indeed frown and reach up and, grab his chest. And that wouldn't be alarming if it wasn't for the fact that as he did that, his head snapped back exceptionally violently to the point you hear the vertebrae crack. His eyes roll back pure white, and he stiffens. And instead of just using his body to turn around, it's almost like invisible hands pulled him round to face 180. And then it only takes perhaps a minute and a half, and Joel's back in the present. His head drops, he laxes, the eyes roll forward. Joel, your neck hurts. As you come back to consciousness, you have this throbbing heartburn, and your neck is a whiplash sore.
Ow.
What the fuck was that?
Just the final say, introducing himself. He and I appear to have a date.
When you say a date,
Don't worry, I'm not like Calanthere. Not that kind of date.
I meant how long?
Whenever we're ready. Or rather, whenever I'm ready.
To fight a fucking immortal freak?
That would be the one. He'd like to meet you guys as well, but I think just me on him is fairer.
It's not going to be fair, Joel. He's immortal, which means he cannot be killed unless we manage to strip that off him.
I'm aware. But if I prepare myself, I will be the same. I hope. Or close to it.
What the fuck have we got ourselves into?
It's what I've got
What did he
myself
say?
into. This has got nothing to do with you. Not your god, not your land, not your fight.
Well, I don't know if I've been conscious for the last 48 hours, but seems that we're all connected.
Only because she says so. Doesn't mean it has to stay that way. This fight is mine. I will stand up to him. I will fight him. And either I will die for something that for once was my choosing, or I'll succeed and live for a cause I chose.
Joel, this final say is trying to take over all the fucking lands, which means it is our fight.
But it's me he's after at the moment.
Yeah, and then who next? Me?
Well, I'll be
Calanthere.
dead, so when I'm dead, I'll be beyond caring. So
Yeah, but you're saying it's just your fight. No, it's not. It's everybody's fight. Not just
Our winner
ours.
is
Not
not
just
my
the people
problem.
here. The whole fucking world.
The way I see it, we're better off going in this together. So if at least one of us succeeds,
No disrespect, but if I can't succeed in fighting him and winning, when I have the Raven Queen on my side and I have fate on my side and I've done everything I need to do to prepare, what chance do you guys have? You could be a distraction. I'm sure you
No.
could be quite useful as that.
you're missing the point. If you fail, everyone dies.
I'll do my best not to.
If we can give you a heightened chance to get through this, I would rather that personally I died in a situation to make sure you got to your goal. And the rest of the people of Lawrenceville suffer. This isn't just about you.
It's also not just about the final say. He's got an army, a
Exactly.
very big one.
And you're not going to be able to tackle that on your own. Doesn't matter
If I
which
win, I
gods
might be.
take over you.
You're
He's still
being
a
very
long way
cocky.
away.
There's
He's a
time and
long
place
way
for
away.
hubris, Joe.
We're not going after him anytime soon. I hope.
No, but there's still no point in being fucking cocky.
I'm not planning on charging in and dying before I'm ready. My point is, there's a whole army to defeat. It's not just him. It's everything he's got with him, everyone he's got with him.
And you think this is a fate you could take by yourself?
Not all of them, just him. But you guys have much more experience. One of you was literally a king, and one of you was a soldier. Who has more experience commanding armies, them or the scrawny kid who grew up underground and has never been in a battle before?
Joel, I've never been in a battle before.
You're a king, you've commanded, you're a prince, you've ruled.
I think you're misplacing position for experience. I didn't earn my place in this world. I'd take a foot soldier leading over me any day.
Well, you're going to have to get used to it at some point. Sooner or later, it's going to come to a battle, whether it's the battle with the Creed, battle with the Dragons, battle with the Final Say, battle with the Shader Kai. There's one coming. There's no shortage of battles to try proving yourself. So you might as well man up and get used to it now. And get
And
ready
when
for
that
one of
bridge
them.
comes, we'll cross it together.
If you say so. I'm just trying to save you all from an unnecessary death. One of the few selfless things I can do.
Selfless, eh?
For once. Thought I might try it.
We should really live.
I've not finished cooking yet.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, let me just contact the dragons. Tell them maybe we can wait for you.
We stopped to camp. I'm having my food.
Well, you're a rest, hello. That's alright.
Were you planning on pitching camp and immediately moving before we slept?
We slept. You had a dream.
He is literally using the crock pot of the dragons, so sure the others to be sympathetic. But that night, uneasy sleep. Well, probably to say most of you sleep quite comfortably, but maybe I'd even say the moment saying, Joel, even with your confidence and that the attitude you give, it is a bit
It's
of a
entirely
restless sleep.
false. It's
you do
entirely
go to
false
bed.
confidence.
And every now and again, you go to bed, as you're laying there in your armor, you keep rubbing your hand over your chest where that heartburn was, and you roll out your bedroll and you climb in your tent. You undo your armor, and the metal plates fall off. You catch and put them down neatly. Strip down, and you look at your bare chest. And right over your heart is a blade scar that wasn't there this morning.
Interesting.
And you being a medicine man, look over, and this is legit scar tissue. This is an injury.
Can I feel if there's one on the back?
There is a bit of contorting and try to twist your body around, but you do feel. You guys watch as Joel's tent fucking shakes from side to side a little bit, but you do, yes, Joel, you do feel that there is an exit and entry scar.
Youch. I was stabbed. Oh, it'll be a very restless sleep then for Joel.
Mm-hmm. Of course. The day before you guys get to camp, you know where you're headed, you know where you've been. Joel's words, his attitude, his actions with the goblin hand, they're probably weighing a bit on your mind, if you don't mind me speculating or assuming for you. You're stressed. You're worried about your family back in Brazen Fort with the fucking tavern. There's a lot. This new Mirage unit, who even are they? Is Bucky okay? Is he fucking out there causing chaos with his unhinged mindset? Is he being looked after? Is Amara okay? Fuck knows what Fenn's doing, but you hope she's alright somewhere, wherever she's up to. There's a lot of pressure on your head right now. The Creed, the connection with Lavender with that now, it's a lot. And one night, again, as you're sitting before you guys get to this camp, you feel a mental knock of someone trying to get your attention. Hey. Hey. Are you awake?
I mean, I'm awake. Let's see
It's
you.
polite to ask.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, it still feels weird hearing that.
like I ask, but you're in my mind, so you can see what's going on. What's up?
Yeah, I'm just... I had a vision too.
That's right.
I don't know if you realize, but we weren't connected for a short period of time. I was by myself and you were by yours, I think. I'm assuming, but I wasn't with you.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to show you it.
If you can show me it, then go right ahead. Don't need to prepare for anything.
Well, you need to go to sleep.
Alright. I'll look at the others and just go... I'm heading to my bed. And I'll stand up and just go...
Yep. But here's a good thing about having a patron that tugs the strings of your mind. You can go to sleep pretty easily if you want her to. She can tug some strings, basically. So sleep doesn't come long at all. And you find yourself again, that headspace that you've often seen her in, like the ever-growing environment that she's been trying to build up, this mental house of hers. And you can see it's whole. And you can see her whole. Now, what she's built is... it's odd. It's a wooden room with no door and no window. But draped from the ceiling are like the old traditional Mongolian like flags, that sort of style, but made of leathers that hang with just random symbols that are very basic, like blue triangle, a red square with a line through it, stuff like that. Nothing too artistic, but very basic. We can tell they mean something to someone. But to you, not a clue.
Yeah.
The walls are lined with mainly defensive things, shields, tower shield.
Oh.
Was that just me? No, he's gone as well.
He's
gone.
frozen. Oh, you're back?
Have I?
Is he back?
Whoa.
Okay.
His camera's frozen.
Your camera's frozen? Oh, you're back, right.
Can you hear me?
I heard tower
there we go.
shields was the last thing you said.
I'll literally pause that point there, so
Okay.
that's fine. Stuff like that lines the walls in this room with no window, no door. A single bed, and I say bed, it's more like a simple wooden cot with some basic furs thrown over it. And that's kind of it. It's a very, very bare room. There's no decorations besides what I've mentioned. There's nothing really that to identify who she may be. But you see her. Now again, Shader Kai being elfin, and also you having elven blood, you can tell she must be no older, as far as, you know, the human equivalent sort of thing goes, than 15, 16, 17. Very youngish face. You know, she has that face of youth still about her. You know, very round, even for an elven, quite rounded, chubbier cheeks. The pointed ears, not quite jet black hair, but borderline, in a very neat, tight ponytail. Again, she herself, the rest of this room is in color, but her actual facade does look like you're staring at her and her alone through a black and white filter. As she stands there before you in these robed, very desert-like attire. She still stands looking up at you with a height difference. You know, she's maybe about 5'1", 5'2", depending if it's raining. And she looks up at you.
Well, I can see you've
Hi.
done the place up.
I don't know why, but I did.
Tell me something. As I'm looking on you, you look black and white. The rest of the place is in colour. Why is that?
I think that's the Shadowfell still having a little hold on me, on my soul.
Alright. You don't get any colour in the Shadowfell.
Oh, it's a bleak place. Let me show you. And before this, without word of warning, her hand reaches out and places upon your sternum. And again, your mind pulls out to a similar feeling of what you had when you initially entered the vision before, when you had your own trip down memory lane. Now, what you see a group, 6 people, walking through a tall mountain pass. The landscape is like looking through the same black and white filter that you were seeing her through. The whole landscape is covered as this, as if the color was simply sucked out of the world. The mountains around you are jagged, pointed, and sheer. The rocks look quite smooth-faced, but have sharp angular edges, the signs of wind erosion and wind blasting. And speaking of, the wind up here blasts you. And even up here, thick dust particles blow against your face. Now, initially you close your eyes and squint without any protection, but then you realize that you aren't really here. You're not real here. And you can see quite clearly without interruption. But now and again, now you feel these gusts, you do feel the urge to close, but you don't need to. Like, so you see this small group of people, a group of 6. They walk in a single file line along this path, rocky landscape. They wear clothes and wraps mostly cover their skin. Again, this desert attire-like stuff that you see your friend wearing. One is struggling to hold a hood down against the winds, using a bandaged hand to do so. The other's not struggling too much. Occasionally a really strong gust of wind will blow through and they'll have to stop and brace themselves until the wind dies down. But finally, you see them reach a point where the path opens up a little, and a chiseled space in the mountain face is visible where the group sits and shelter themselves from the wind. They all huddle close, sitting down, breathing hard as one by one they remove their hoods and cowls to show their faces. You see, quite expectantly probably, this is all a group of Shader Kai. Some are younger, some are older. One, a familiar face, is a lot younger. Again, as you say, mid-teens or so, no older than. The same long black hair tied to a ponytail, but right now she's in the middle of undoing it with her hood down. Her skin grey and her face shows youth. The others, again, vary in ages and genders. One is an older female with a completely shaved head, and she addresses the group. We'll make camp here. No point pushing ourselves too hard. Hopefully this windstorm will pass, and tomorrow will be easier. All the others nod to themselves, and to her in agreement. One of the Shader Kai, a male with one arm, indicated by the jacket sleeve folded and stitched in half, looks around at the group. Shall we get a fire going? Without words, the younger girl leans forward and from her backpack pulls out a small leather pouch that contains dried leaves that she shelters with one hand. As you can see that these dried leaves actually hold ember from a previous fire. The same older woman who spoke before offers her hand some sort of dried husk, and the girl gently tips in the embers, and immediately smoke comes out of this husk material. And within minutes, a nice little fire is built that the group huddle around and keep warm, making sure the wind is not battering the flames too much. The attitude of the group is visible with one of negative emotions. You're not sure why or what type exactly, but for example, the one-eyed man seems angry and he keeps scowling into the ether. The elderly woman has a sadness in her eyes. Another woman, perhaps in her mid-30s or so, lets out a big sigh, but not one of comfort, but one of definite frustration. A bulkier-looking man stands up from the fire and he kicks a rock lazily over the edge of the mountain pass, and you can hear it down the pass, deeper and deeper into the ravine. The other two men are sitting close together. One has an eye patch over his left eye with longer hair, and the other looks like a very, very well-kept, handsome man with neatly cut hair and a very well-trimmed beard. He's resting his head on the man's shoulder with the white eye patch. And obviously you then have the one-armed man who's currently sitting with his one arm folded over his stomach as he just leans into the wall behind. Lucia coughs weakly and rests her head against the wall. The elderly woman, the sort of mother-like figure to the group, shuffles over and gets her water skin and pours the last dregs of water. Nothing but a few droplets come out. Anybody else? Everyone shakes their head as they pat their water skins to feel, and the situation isn't good. She looks back to the younger girl, Lucia. Stay strong. You're strong and can hold on a little longer. Lucia sighs and pulls her robes around herself closer. Yeah, sure. I'm doing great slowing you all down in the middle of Void Wraith territory. Some Dustwalker I turned out to be. The well-groomed man glares at her. Hey, now don't be mean to my friend, alright? For where I'm sitting, you're a damn fine Dustwalker. Your blades were true, and your spirit unbroken. The bigger man who kicked the rock turns to her, flexes a strong bicep, pointing at it, and then points to her. Excuse me. The elderly woman speaks up. He's right too. They both are. Young one, you are as much of a Dustwalker as any one of us, alive or in our heritage. Suddenly from the distance, carried by the wind, are a loud series of unearthly screeches that call out. All the group look around with alert. Shit, Voidwalker's got our scent again, the one-armed man says, standing up and helping the middle-aged woman up. Everyone else does the exact same, except for Lucia, who tries but then slumps back down again, a very clear blood smear against the back stone behind her. By the Raven's wing, how hurt are you? The well-kept man says with shock. She smiles back. They got me good. Those steps up the mountain pass will be my last ones. The strong man hurries over and begins to lean to try and pick her up, but stops as suddenly he winces and hisses in pain, his hand going to his lower back. Don't worry. Your back's still thrown from your hammer swinging. I'll stay here. I'll hold off the void race and do it as long as possible. You guys have to leave and get out of here. You know I'll only slow you down and get us all killed, and we're the last Dustwalkers. That can't happen. The man with the eye patch leans into the elderly woman. She's right, you know, he says solemnly. They all nod as the painful realization kicks in that that's not good. The elderly woman leans back and pulls out a small pouch from her breast pocket, and inside is just pure grey ash. She dips in an index finger, and then draws a straight line down Lucia's face, starting from just below her left eye, going over the edge of her lips and ending on her jawline. Dustwalker Lucia, your honor is high as your spirit. May you become dust that blows around us and gives us strength. She stands up and without saying a single thing more, pulls up her hood and leaves the chiseled shelter. One by one, the others give a sad nod to Lucia, who stays there slumped to the ground and leave her alone to die. All that can be heard from that point is the howling of the wind. But then the howls of something animalistic draws near. She weakly pulls out 2 daggers from her side, one in each hand. But suddenly rushing into space are 2 smoke-like creatures, purplish in colour almost, as if they're the only thing that have colour in this damn world. They rush in with these white eyes. Lucia screams out, but then everything goes silent. The creatures look around confused. They search around each other, their smoke bodies intertwining. At some point it's almost becoming one, but then phasing out, as they seem to lose interest and leave. All that's left behind where they were was a heavy, heavy blood smear. A minute passes, and you think the invasion should be over, but it stays. And you stay looking at this part of the floor and wall, when suddenly Lucia's body falls out from the stone. Limp, pale, covered in blood, very much dead. Closely followed by a certain witch. She herself holds an expression of great sadness and concern. Oh, my child, you poor thing. I let you down, and I'm sorry. But no matter. She leans forward and with 2 fingers pulls a blue wisp from Lucia's chest. I still need you, Lucia. I'll need to find somewhere to keep you safe. And with that, with this heavy dust of wind kicks up in your face, and the vision ends. You can see Lucia standing there before you, and now when you look at her face, she has that dust trail that was drawn on her skin. Or the ash trail, sorry, I should say. The ash drawn under her left eye. Well, here I am. Nice to meet you.
I thought you were the captain of that
Yes, I
fucking
died.
ship.
Yeah, so did I for a long, long time. I was getting very excited to know if my sailing knowledge, but that's a letdown.
Do you remember everything now?
For the most part, I think. It comes in drips and drabs, but I'm pretty sure I remember the most part. I remember dying more than anything. Painful.
The witch. She sounded like she was connected to you before. She said she let you down as if you've had a previous meeting with her.
Never met in my life as far as I know.
Just talking about fate. Why you? What's the Dustwalkers? What is your goal? What were you doing?
From, again, the memories I'm having, Dustwalkers are like this group in the Shadowfell. We don't hold an allegiance to anybody apart from ourselves. We're kind of like Counthiel, like a nomadic tribe sort of vibe, but in the Shadowfell. But we're a warrior tribe. When things get a little bit out of hand, when balance starts to shift, Dustwalkers come in and settle it. So some people view us with good intent, some people bad, depending which side you're on. But Dustwalkers have always been. They try to keep the balance in the Shadowfell. But we're all dead now. Well, apart from those guys.
And the balance has shifted.
The balance has shifted. The Shadowfell is the scales aren't right, and the dust. One of the first to get culled off was the Dustwalkers. The Great Reclaimer knew that he couldn't overthrow with Dustwalkers around, so he poisoned us from the inside. And we had our own great war, a civil war, if you want to call it that. And those, unfortunately, that are left are either my friends there or now loyal to him. He's got the Shadowfell in his pocket.
And those creatures, are they sent after you? Or are they just wild?
No, they're native. They're one of the many horrible native creatures of the Shadowfell, Voidwalkers. They come in windstorms.
And what happened to you? Why were
Well,
you...
that, I died.
Yeah, but why were you already suffering? Why were you already
Oh.
blood covered?
Oh, that. Well, like I say, we were captured by the Dustwalkers that turned, so I don't really want to call them Dustwalkers anymore, but don't know what else to call them. Traitors, I guess, is a better word. But we were captured, my friends and I. There was more of us, a lot more of us, and we broke out of their imprisonments. Took about a month to organize an escape plan, but we did. And out of the gods, it must have been, just shy of 100 or so that made us out. It was just us left, and in the process of me leaving, they knew I took a sword to the side, but they didn't know about the arrow that I took in my back. I kind of kept that one a bit hush as we fled for the mountains.
Right. And where were you trying to get to? Is there a plan, or were you just moving?
We were just trying to get away from the city we were in. It wasn't safe in Gloom's Rot. We had to leave. So we were heading for the mountain passes, hopefully trying to use the mountains so they could lose our scent. We were going to try to find any shelter, any home, anywhere we could be hidden. But the one thing we didn't plan on was that windstorm. And Voidwalkers really complicate things on windstorms.
Okay. The next thing. 2 questions. 1. How did you get your powers?
I've never had powers before. I've always been a stabby stab, shooty shoot person.
Gift from the witch, then. And 2. How the fuck did you end up on that ship? She must have planted you there, but it seemed like you came with the ship. Is that her doing? And then the...
My memories, there's a gap. So my last pre-me like this memory was sitting in that cave, being eaten quite horrifically. Don't recommend it, but you've actually been there. Sorry, that's bad memory for you as well. Shouldn't share that. Anyway, being destroyed and killed and torn apart. My next memory is waking up inside your head. So where the two go from there, I have no idea. But that witch had my soul and kept it for a period of time. And again, I don't know how long she had my soul for. I don't know what the time difference is between me dying in the Shadowfell and your time here. It could have happened last week before I was in your body. It could have happened years ago. I could be centuries old.
We need to figure out what the fuck happened, because I've got a funny feeling now. Remember the captain's log, and I'll kind of pull it out if I can.
Yep, it's there.
She said that this one, who I thought was you, felt like she was being followed a lot by somebody who smelt terrible. I wonder if she was referring to the witch. I wonder if she knew this was going to happen. And then that's when she planted you. Fuck.
Maybe.
We get more answers for you. You find out a lot more about yourself, but then it creates more questions.
I think we always knew that was going to be the case, wasn't it? Like, we were never going to get everything like all hunky-dory. Hey, here's what we were looking for. Or is that me being a pessimist? Sorry.
It's gonna be hard now, because you heard what she said. It's gonna be hard to bring you to a body. Fuck, Lucia. We're in a fucking shit situation.
Yeah. But this is fucking cool, right?
Yeah.
Like, badass warrior, fucking protector of the land shit? That's cool.
Yeah.
I'm dead now, but there's swings and
I was
roundabouts.
going to say, you took an arrow to the back and you took a couple of sword strikes. Could maybe work on your footwork. I don't know.
Welcome to the Dead Club.
Yeah, no.
Just you and me and Lance Tree.
You weren't there, I would have been down in the dumps, I know. Well, we'll figure this out. Unfortunately, I
hope
feel
so.
like everything's pointing us towards the Shadowfell, no matter what we do. Yeah, we're chasing the dragons right now, but I feel like the Shadowfell's a penultimate.
If they're still alive, we might have 5 allies left. If they're still alive.
You think you can convince them to rebel?
What, my friends?
Mm-hmm.
The ones that got away, yeah. If we can find them, maybe we can try and, recruit them, but...
We're gonna need all the help we can get if we get into the Shadowfell.
Let's see if they survived. The windstorms are violent.
I have a funny feeling they did. That's why she showed you. Alright.
Well, that was cheery.
Yeah, well, it seems like our lives are full of cheer, right?
Hey.
Yeah. I appreciate you looking out for me though, Lucia. Without your
I've got your back.
powers, your magic, that might have came from her, but who knows, maybe it was awoken within you.
Maybe. I guess we'll see one day, maybe, if we get some answers or not.
Yeah.
But for now, I'm just that annoying little voice in your head, so deal with it.
Yeah, since day one, Lucia. Since day one.
Yeah, it's the end of days.
It might end up being.
I've had some thoughts about that, and they're not really good thoughts, but we'll talk about them later as and when they arise.
Alright, well, I guess it's a need to know basis, so let me know when I need to know.
I'm really concerned if you get a girlfriend and I have to be there and watch. I've been thinking a lot lately. I've had enough of my free time, and I don't want to be the ultimate third wheel or have to see anything.
Technically, you're a part of me. Technically...
No, why would you say that? Why? Oh, good heavens.
I'm joking. I'm not getting another partner. There's a partner that waits for me at the other side of the afterlife.
Oh, thank fuck for that. I mean, sorry for your loss, but thank fuck for that.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen, don't worry.
Okay. I can sleep easy at night now, I guess.
You're still young.
Right. Well, good night on that awkward note.
Yeah. You're still young. Why the fuck did she play about with you? Now I want to go back. Ah, fucking witch.
Just came all that way.
Well.
I'm sure she's watching.
Oh, she will be. I wouldn't be surprised if she can hear us both talking in fucking inside my mind. Anyways, no, don't look about, because that gives me the heebie-jeebies, I'll be honest with you. I don't want to turn around and she's looking through the window. Oh, there's no windows, thank fuck.
There's no window here, dumbass.
By the way, why'd you choose this decor?
I don't know, it just felt quite nice. It reminds me of home, now that I know what a home is.
Yeah, fair.
The nomadic sense, we never had a permanent building to call home, so we just set up like tents, and this is sort of, these were the banners we'd hang, and never had a room before, so I figured I'd give myself walls.
I mean, I can't give you this physically.
Scary, so I figured... What?
I can't give you it physically, but this is a manifestation inside my mind, so... And I pull off the Mirage unit flag off my leg and try and hang it up somewhere so the Mirage unit's facing out the way.
Then it hangs and that's quite cute, I like that.
Well, a lot of things to fucking do, a lot of checklists to get rid of. Dragons, an immortal champion of the gods, the Shadowfell.
Sounds like you need a Dustwalker on your side.
And we've always had a Dustwalker on our side by the looks of it.
Yeah, but now you know it.
Yeah.
Now I know it.
Does that mean I'm a Dustwalker?
Maybe, like by proxy, maybe.
Yeah. Well, I'm actually going to go to sleep now.
All right, have fun.
Night, Lucia.
Night.
And then I'll force myself out, essentially. And go to sleep, proper
Because
sleep.
you did what you did, by the way, and I like the idea of flavor, you can now summon your banner as and when you want to, like a sword.
Oh, okay.
You can now summon your fucking mark if you want to, in and out, like you do your sword, so you don't have to turn it round, you just will it into existence, because I quite like that touch. I like flavor, I like...
Alright.
The rest of you,
Because just as a pre-note,
all have a lovely... Oh,
just remember the Mirage unit side is maroon, so it's colourful.
yeah. Fantastic. We'll jump forward in time again, unless there's anything else you guys want to do, say, or interact with the party, or the wider world as a whole.
Good to keep moving.
I got no problems with
Keep
moving
moving, you
on.
guys do. Fantastic. Keep moving, you guys do. As you push into just north of Door Hill, you start climbing the mountain range, and Elio, part of your heart does sink, especially with the memory that was just reintroduced to yourself, seeing the battlefield. When you see the mountain path up Door Hill, your heart quickens a little bit, and you feel yourself to swallow hard now and again. But thankfully, you find some scouts that take you away from that fateful place itself. Like I say, a couple of scouts see you coming. You'd recognize them as being some of the Brazen Fort militia uniform that they're wearing, Mr. Falcoris. And they sort of, as they see you come the mountain path, you sort of quickly lead you guys over, and it's over this way.
Nice. Thank you.
Welcome, follow us. Hustle you along. And again, let's say and again, but you find yourself, as you crest a small little hillock, you see by no means hidden, but you see a military encampment that are just resting in the lower half of the Door Hill Mountain. You can see there's various tents, various, more permanent structures that are being built, like small huts and the like. One thing that does catch your attention, it's impossible for it not to, is you see Behemoth 6 is sat off at the back of the camp right now, with a few Creed guards surrounding it, milling around and making their little chit-chat amongst themselves. The large, ballooned airship resting hidden. And yeah, you see the guard around is a mix of Creed and a mix of Brazen Fort. No lines that you can see as of yet, but you can see there's this mix of people, and there is an energy about this place, and it's an energy that Falcoris you would have felt, and to a degree as well, I'd say Elero, you'd have felt in passing as well. This is the energy before, battles and that sort of stuff. This is the energy of planning, the electricity of there's something moving, and it's all going to come to a boiling point soon. And this is that hustle and bustle beforehand, that everyone is... There's no one idle here. Everyone is doing something. And there's just this buzz in the air. Excuse me. But yeah. You see the camp, and I can get you all to make perception checks, please, as you guys scan from this slightly elevated position, the camp before you.
Oh boy, it's gonna be big.
23.
Yes, you can. 23.
26.
Let me see, it says perception.
Yep. Perception, please, yes, Joel.
Not reach the dice without moving.
Your table-on-table structure.
Table on table with a side table now.
It's upgraded.
That's 15.
15?
That's a
That
dirty
is-
20 for me.
30-20. And Lavender?
That is a natural 20 for me.
Oh, shit. What's your total then, sir? Like a million?
No, 29.
Basically a
enough.
million.
You have a nine. You have a plus
So-
9 perception. You're more perceptive than Falcoris now. No,
You took his one job away from him.
but what job?
Of course, his one job. He's basically useless now. Might as well retire.
Yeah, that's it. Retired.
Falcoris is going to stay at this camp and never leave. That's it. New character, who dis? So, from this position, again, you guys, some of you that don't know the elements of a war encampment, which is what this effectively is, it's an alien atmosphere to you guys. So Lavender, Joel, and Count Fear. This is just a strange group of people that are just doing strange fucking things. But hey ho, it is what it is, I guess. Now Falcoris and Eliril, with you guys having a more knowledgeable knowledge, fucking words, of this, you're looking out for key things. So you can see the HQs basically on this one. You can see that the Creed are based in operations out of Behemoth 6. There are some doors at the bottom of the port side that have opened up and are basically letting people come in and out ground level without having to climb onto the main deck via ladders and that sort of stuff. Behemoth 6 seems to be where the Creed are operating out of right now. You can also then see, sort of near the middle of camp, near enough to Behemoth 6, there's another larger tent, which you'd recognize to be the war tent, which is where all the military leaders would be gathering and, you know, holding their various meetings and such like that. It's weird seeing two HQs. Normally it's just the one leader, and that's it. So it's weird seeing two, and two that are actually being actively used at the same time, but you understand why. With this sort of weird coming together that isn't quite harmonious as of yet. Now, Lavender, with your exceptionally high perception, you can see uniform after uniform after uniform of people that match one another. But there's a small group near the bigger tent that don't match anybody. They're wearing their own armor, their own weapons. They don't match anything of anybody else. And they're currently sort of sitting off the sides talking to one another, really deliberately not interacting with anybody else. The second anyone tries to come near, you can see that any conversation they're in just dies off. They watch the person pass and go back to talking amongst themselves again. Joel, this group is, again, just strange, but again, for you and the experience that you see up here, you can see right now the hustle and bustle of the Creed is what's catching your attention. Now, you see these uniforms, mainly the assassin colors and a few blues of the diplomats. You don't see red or any other leader for that matter, but you see something that you've never seen before. It's distinctly Creed. There's no two ways about it. But it's an armored suit. Not like the Electromancer or the Skullface one that with the electric cores on its back. No, this is more just regular suit of armor aesthetic. But it's light green with gold trimmings. But the mask, the helm, is again that same Creed design or the oval shape with the patterns that go through it. Again, but these are gold on a green background and plate. And you've never seen these Creed before. This is new. And you can't help but frown your brow slightly at this and... what's this? Curious. Press X to doubt. You're not too sure what's happening here. Count Fear. As you are coming over this crop and you can hear the hustle and bustle of this. Again, it's a lot of overlapping voices, a lot of overlapping things anyway, but you pick out a few key points. You can hear that from... Basically, it's mainly the people from the Brazen Fort, those militiamen that are talking right now, as the Creed are deliberately keeping themselves away from everybody else. You can hear there's a couple of whispers that fly by that the good doctor is an interesting person. They saw him the other day and they weren't quite sure if he was actually real or not. They're commenting on Behemoth 6 and how can this thing actually be an airborne vehicle that's far too large and all that sort of stuff. And other comments that the plague soldiers are giving them the creeps.
Okay, fair enough.
Brain connection.
Okay. I'll relay that information once we're in more quiet quarters.
Yeah. And
I've
I'll
lost
say as
my
well, even
music.
with this little nudge, Joel, as well, you've never heard of a plague soldier before or anything else like that. That goes same for any of you guys. As well, you've never heard of a plague soldier, so you don't know what that is.
Brother, your music has stopped. You've minimized. You have
Oh.
minimized your application.
My
Hit!
immersion.
My immersion.
Is that better?
Matthew,
Yes.
with my background, could I maybe try an intelligence check of some kind to infer what a plague soldier might be?
You can certainly try. I'll say it's a
Yeah.
very hard DC, but you can try if you like.
Do you want history or just straight intelligence?
This would be straight intelligence at this point. Because again, you never heard the name, you have nothing to correlate it back to, so it's just be an intelligence roll.
That was a nat 2 on the die for a 6.
Not
Is
a
that
clue,
high
buddy.
enough for
Not
you?
a clue. No, it's unfortunately you just fell short of the DC, man. Like you were one away, but no, unfortunately not. No idea what a plague soldier is.
Would I have heard of a plague soldier?
Again, you can try and make an intelligence check, but chances aren't high. But you can try and make a straight intelligence.
What is Wolf Course's intelligence? Not great. That's a 14.
I was going to
14?
make one,
No,
but
same thing,
no,
unfortunately.
I've got a terrible roll. There's no point.
Unfortunately, again, you have no idea who these soldiers are. Unfortunately,
Okay.
with a roll of a 14. But from the outskirts of the camp, do you guys enter camp? Sorry, do you want to stay up in this elevated position for a wee bit, or?
Probably enter.
Yeah.
Make my
Joel's going for the man in green. Or woman in green, whatever it is. Person in green.
Hard to tell. The armored suit doesn't give off any indications of sex or gender.
The individual from
But you
wearing green.
probably have to cross to go. You have to probably like go through the camp or like run the outskirts of the camp to get there. But if you want to go beeline towards one of these green soldiers, you can do.
Yeah. Just the
You guys
nearest
follow
green
suit?
guy.
Anybody else want to? Yep. Does anybody else want to do anything different? Come with Joel or?
I'll probably. Oh, there you go.
No, on you go. I don't have a concrete plan.
I'll probably just start heading towards the one that looks military Brazenfort esque like head command HQ. I'll start heading towards there.
Perfect. Lavender and Count through. You guys traveling anywhere?
I think Calanthir will just stay with the majority group because he doesn't really know what's going on, so
Fair.
probably won't venture too far away.
Otherwise, if you're getting lost. And Lavender, the same with you, or do you go follow Joel of course, or go rogue?
I'll just stay with the group.
Ellerbel, then, so where would you like to head off to?
Just mingling and blending in as best
Yes.
as I can and eavesdropping, just trying to find out what the soldiers are saying, what's going on, what concerns the people.
What ails the people? Okay.
Are you going to
So
cure
we'll
it
say
with your
for this
snake
one
water?
We'll say Joel is going alone to the nearest soldier. Joel, just without saying a word to you guys, just takes off and heads off to find one of these nearest green soldiers. Falcoris,
He does
Calanther,
that.
and Lavender will go to the headquarter tent as Elleril just blends into the shadows. Probably this point about Kelgorm blends into the shadows and eavesdrops to try and find out information. So, we'll start with Joel first. As you were the first to say something, you beeline towards one of these soldiers. Again, you can either go through the actual camp itself or you can go around the edge. Where would you like to go? As you need to head
Through.
towards the airship.
In a very
pushing
Joel-like
through.
fashion, just he's got a target.
Headstrong.
He knocks
Goes
over
over.
a small child that somehow managed to make it into a military camp.
Just keeps trampling it like
It's
a
like
royal
this-
guard outside Buckingham Palace, just treading over it.
You, sure enough, after a path of destruction, you walk through tents and that sort of stuff as well, taking them with you, knocking over flagpoles. It's a fucking scene.
Everyone's screaming.
The camp burns. But you make it indeed to one of these green soldiers. Now I need you to do. You can either make me either an
Don't say charisma.
investigation or an insight check
Investigation or
As you
insight.
as you approach this soldier standing
I
alone.
am proficient in insight. That's a +8 to insight. We're going with that. Right, what does that make that? That's 25?
Cool. So you approach
Maybe.
the soldier. What do you do?
Hello.
That's it, Joe.
I'll tap him on the shoulder if he doesn't hear me. Hey. Am I in front of him or am I like behind him?
You're in front of him.
You alive in there?
It's funny you say that, because with your insight, you quickly pick up a few things. They are standing unnaturally still, and there's no movement at all. Now, normally you wear heavy armor. There will be the odd shuffle of a leather strap maybe come down. You have to like place it up. The fidgeting of a finger, something. Breathing would be a thing, but no.
And I examined their armor a little bit more closely to see, like, if it's like a sealed thing, like they're sealed inside of their suit, or if they're just like wearing it, if that makes sense.
Now, it does indeed. Now, I say at this point, this will be an investigation check, because you're looking for, take-offable pieces and that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Take-offable,
as good.
detachable.
That, you know what I mean. Ooh,
Speak
that's
that say the man
19.
that's me, that's can he speak? Ooh. No. This is completely encased.
So
you can see it
they've
should move.
sealed
You
it.
can see there's parts where the joints can move and that sort of stuff. The individual, like, circular joints, the fingers, the elbows, the knees. You can tell that the midriff should be able to twist and turn, same with the head, but there's no straps, no ratchets, no place where air could pass through. It's sealed up tight.
Can I see anything on the outside at least that suggests like how it's being done? Like if there's like, I don't know, it's not gonna be obvious as like a big ass tank on their back, but you know what I mean? There's like something that looks like it's keeping them moving, if that makes sense. Or if it is just literally
19?
normal armor.
The armor, there's no way. The armor itself looks normal. There's nothing in that one there. With a 19, you don't see nothing external that indicates like a power source as you might be looking for, anything
Yeah,
like that.
yeah, so like something like that.
No, nothing on the outside that indicates anything.
Is there anyone like nearby, like is also Creed? That's not this guy.
It's a Behemoth 6, so there'd be a good few people milling around doing their own bits and pieces.
Is there anyone? I know you said there's no like red people around, but is there anyone who looks sort of, maybe like one of the diplomats, or just someone who looks a little bit more in charge than the others?
Yeah, I mean, you can see easy enough, as I mentioned before, there is definitely one of the diplomats. You see like, maybe one or two of them actually, so you could easily make your way over to said blue
Yeah.
coat and
Just
some questions.
the nearest one.
You approach and they sort of look over at you. Hi there, can I help you?
I'll point to the green guy and just sort of him over there.
Mm.
I'll sort of leaning close to him. It's like, Is it public knowledge that he's dead?
Unfortunately not, no. They are a creation of the good doctors.
The doctors?
The good doctor, yeah, Dr. Castanius.
Hang on, how do you cast? Hang on, let me write that down.
C-A-S.
Hang on. C-A-S.
T-I-N.
T-I-N.
I-O-U-S. Dr. Castanius.
I-O-U-S. So some doctor has made you some kind of undead soldiers.
Do you not know? No, you're not Creed, actually. You probably won't know. That's fine. Forgive me.
I have been Creed. I'm aware I was part of one of the sanctums. I'm aware of how this works. I've never seen this, though.
Do you not know who the doctor is?
Can I assume you're from Lostery?
I'm not, but he's leader of the Lusterim Sanctum.
So they are still alive up there.
Believe it or not, yeah.
Personally, I never believed the
Dr.
rumors,
Castanius
but
says
here we
that
are.
they don't abide by the Creed rules per se either, so them being here is very... It's causing an imbalance, and some of us here don't like that, but we've all got to get along for this war to come.
So are they on our side, the Lost Dream Sanctuary?
Let's just say they're still negotiating, but things should be okay. Miss Silversong and the Good Doctor are, I believe, actually in the meeting now. It should be wrapping up soon with any given luck. They've been at it for hours now, talking terms and conditions of not fighting each other.
Has Door Hill weighed in yet?
With us on their doorstep, they're reluctant to open their doors, but they've sent a message saying that provided we don't engage first, they will not do anything themselves either. But that's
And
why
you-
we brought... They nod towards the airship. That's why we brought this. There's a little bit of a don't encourage us yet sort of tactic.
Smart move. And what about you, Taurus? Have they finally chosen a side? I might be misremembering this, by
Again,
the way, that they hadn't, but if I remember rightly, they were
Taurus is
neutral.
a sanctum. They were fairly neutral, and, well, negotiations are still to happen with Taurus, so we are yet... Nothing's changed with them. The two ones today are... Well, today is discussing the Ream Sanctorium, and next is Door Hill, since we're at their footstep.
Now these, I think you call them plague soldiers, whose orders do they follow? Is it only the Doctor? Do they answer directly to him?
They answer directly to the Doctor and any of his generals. They are beyond loyal. Unwavered, you might say.
Tends to happen when you create your own zombie soldier. Tends to be loyal. I've dabbled. Must talk
I'm
to
not
this
too
Doctor.
sure how the Doctor did it. Well, if you get the chance to, he's impressive. I'll say that. I've never quite seen someone like him before, and I dare say that you might be the same.
Well, he and I, share a similar background. I was my sanctum's, one of our medicals, one of our researchers, one of our scientists, so I'd be interested to see how he managed this. Something to do with the armor, I'd say.
Well, he hasn't shared his secrets with us yet, but if you can drag it out of the Good Doctor, then fair enough.
And do the rest of the soldiers here, not Creed, these militia, do they know about soldiers?
We're trying to keep it under wraps as best we can. I'm pretty sure that, the, I hate to use the word commoners, but you know what I say when I say that.
I understand,
The
don't
people of
worry.
society that don't know our ways would freak out if they knew who we had under our potential employ and fighting next to them. It might cause a bit of a unresting issue. So if you wouldn't mind keeping that to yourself,
I wouldn't
be
mind at all.
appreciated.
Wouldn't mind at all.
Thank you.
And with that, Joel's just gonna go look around the airship just in his free time. You don't need to RP it. Joel's just gonna wander a bit and just look around
No
Behemoth
problem. I mean,
6
it's
and
just
just kind of mingle.
Again, we don't have to RP as you say, but for the sake of now you're actually inside Behemoth 6, it's fucking huge. The only way I can basically word it out is imagine like a ye old English galleon ship with just gun deck, and rows of cannons. The cannons are listed in sections, and you very quickly get the thing. The firing orders are that if the ship fired all cannons at once, it would destroy itself apart. So there'll be into sections that they fire in a line basically, so the ship will survive the force of its own eruption. The stockpiles of ammunition are impressive and very well guarded. Your one concern with Behemoth 6, and it's a fairly big concern, is you get the feeling if one good shot comes in, this thing is a fucking tinderbox waiting to explode. If something was to happen, this thing could go up in flames pretty easily.
So the Creed have built a Hindenburg.
Potentially, they have. It's still a prototype, technically speaking. But the outside is armored, but you can tell that the outside's armored heavily to protect it. The inside, not so much. And to that point, you can still even see that on the outside where the dragon attacked the airship when it actually landed onto it, the repairs have been done, but the damage is still visible, as they've not exactly had long to repair before bringing it here. So you can still see that now the ship's landed, they are still working on plating up and reinforcing again.
Well, with that done, Joel will probably go for wherever the meeting is supposed to be happening, just sort of wait nearby. He's not going to just walk into the meeting. He'll hang around nearby, so you can see. Just alpha move, just walk in. I am here. But yeah, he'll just wait for them to finish.
Fantastic, thank you. I was going to jump to Kellegorm next, but he is now gone. He is actually stealthing amongst the group, so that's fine.
He'll be back soon.
Mingling. Yep, whilst he's mingling then, you three, Calanthier, Lavender, and Valcoris. You... excuse me. Make your way towards the Brazen Fort HQ tent. Making your way towards there to see what banter awaits. And Lavender, as you point out potentially, this is where that group that you saw, the ones that looked like outsiders, are sat outside. You can see they basically settled in the little sparring ground. You can see where the grass has been more well trodden. You can see some training dummies that are just like stockpiled on top of each other. Maybe a couple of them are out and assembled. Straw-filled dummies, wooden swords, wooden shields. Falcor, you use this sort of stuff. It's basic ramshackle training grounds. Quick, let's throw it together.
Yeah.
We'll make do sort of thing training ground. And you can indeed see these ramshackled people that just sort of are there, and they don't wear any uniform, they don't wear any identification marks, they do just sort of sit around outside this tent. None of them are sparring right now, they all just seem to be sitting there quite hesitantly, waiting.
Oh.
And as you three approach, you can see that one of them, tall female elf, just sort of eyes you guys up and down as you approach. Seeing equally, you guys also aren't wearing a uniform, so you catch her attention.
I'll take note of their visual appearances. Just who they are. Look at them and then just kind of go towards the tent. Recognize that they're there, give them the look so they know that recognition type thing, and then move on.
Stare at each other.
Yeah.
He blinks first as a loser sort of thing, but you push through. And as you get to the tent flag, you can see those as you expect there to be a couple of guards that stand outside and just sort of don't do the traditional experience in front of you sort of thing. They do like just put a whole small hand up. Excuse me, sir, can I help you guys?
Of course, Ilrin.
Oh shit! And he pulls a little checklist. You're on the list, right?
And these two as well.
I'm gonna. And they are.
Lavender and Calanthier.
Lavender, yep. Calanthier.
If Kellegorm and Joel appear, then allow them in as well.
So, how do you spell Calanthier? Sorry. Never mind. Found it. Oh.
Soldier, quick, on a double.
Yes, sir. snaps attention, salutes, and then quickly rushes into the tent. You can see the other soldier just next, just standing at attention. But you can see ever so slightly the faintest of head shakes as they're trying not to, be too visibly disappointed. But this faintest of head shakes.
At ease,
peeks through.
soldier.
She sort of stands and relaxes her pose a little bit, but still stares out, watching the passers-by, being very alert and attentive. A few minutes pass before the same guard comes back. Right, they're in a meeting right now. Commander Rocknurst, one Miss Silversong, and the Doctor. They're in a meeting right now. I've made them aware of your presence, but Elena would like to see you. The Queen would like to meet you.
Okay. Where's she at?
Please, inside, please follow me.
All right. Go on in.
And you push through the flaps, and it is, again, you're probably used to this thick tarpaulin. So under here, even in the mildly warm sun, under here it is hot, from the trapped air and the mudded ground underneath it. It's a very, very large tent, so it is actually sectioned and walled off, like a better term, with individual rooms that are made out of the same tent fabric. And you're escorted into one towards the left-hand side of the tent entranceway, where as you push through, you do indeed see, sitting on a makeshift wooden bench, Elena, dressed in very regal royal attire, but more the outdoorsy sort of type. So instead of being like a nice flowy dress, it is more like in the very fine trousers, knee-high boots, and that sort of appeal. And next to her is a certain Lily, back up and running in golden armor, but no check required. You can see the missing leg has been replaced by a pure gold prosthetic.
Okay. Your Highness.
And they also look at you, and she gives a respectful bow back. Friends, it's a pleasure to see you all again.
Looking
Can I
good,
get you
Lily.
anything? A wine or a water? Lily sort of leans back, feeling good. Bangs the knee a little bit. But yes, can I get you a wine, water, rations, anything?
Ale, if there's
I
some
still
going.
have a little bit of sway these days. Of course, of course.
Anything.
And she stands up and she...
Lavender.
Taylor?
Taylor's another one. It's all right. That's in a
Everyone-
fourth dimension. I just broke it. I'm sorry.
You've got to let Jesus in as well.
No, Jesus is not allowed back.
Jesus
Lavender.
on the tent and just fuck.
Just water for me and a snack for the bear.
Oh yeah, Brownie.
Of course.
Yeah. I would imagine Brownie just came in with
Count
us.
here. Of course he did. No one bat an eyelid.
Maybe ice, if you have, just ice.
I'll see what I can muster up. 2 seconds, please. And she takes a step out to the tent flap and sort of beckons over one of the soldiers, and you see whispering to her ear, "Can we get some drinks organised? Can we get some ale for them? Just get pitchers, some water, and ice." Ice, milady. Yes, ice. Can you maybe ask the Creed if they have any? Do I have to ask the Creed? Yes, please. Be a dear. Ask the Creed if they have any ice or any machines to make ice. Yes, milady. And she sunks off. Well, drinks will be here in a minute or two. Thank you for coming to our little encampment in the hills. How are you guys? Last I heard, you were off to some, well, interesting places to do some very not interesting things.
Yeah, well, the not interesting things turned out to be interesting. You know what it is.
How's my brother? I don't see him with you, but I'm gonna guess he's around, I hope.
Yeah, he's mingling with the crowd. You know, like he is.
Of course. And Joel, is he still with us?
Joel is still with us. He's checking in with his lot.
Fair enough, makes sense. Well, welcome to the encampment as we plan for war. I figured if there's going to be war happening in my country, I should know about it and get involved and see what to do. So here I am. But even me as the Queen, I'm still kicked out of some meetings I'm not privy to, so this is one of them. So here I am. on the sidelines.
I think that's a bit backwards thinking, is it not? Should you not
Does
know
seem
everything?
A little disrespectful.
I think there's some things with the creed, and specifically this good doctor, that they'd rather keep secret. And for what it's worth, I don't want to step on too many toes, so I'm letting them have this initial bit, but that won't last. I will be more heavy-handed going forward, but whilst they're keeping the initial secrets going, I'd like to, show a hand of faith to them, and hopefully get them back in return.
You've learned your lesson, you're not rushing in. I like it.
Oh, fair enough. Fair enough.
You know I'm not going to let you live that down, Your Highness.
No, I'm fully aware. I'm fully aware. But yeah, it's interesting times. Miss Silverson was nice enough to give me a lift here on the airship, so that was fun, being in the sky. And she and I have been trying to forge a relationship, which is, especially trying not to offend my brother, interesting. It's not been exactly smooth sailing. We keep hitting crossroads, but we push through them. And we're trying to get along.
Politics.
I was never one for it, but yet here I am, in the head of it.
Well, any updates, anything that you can tell us yourself?
Well, the commanders put together a replacement Mirage unit, as yet to be named. But they are just basically the Mirage unit for now until we can either they choose their own name or something like that. You might see them as you came in, the
Outcasts?
group outside. Yeah, that's them.
Makes sense.
I've met some of them. I've met their captain. She's lovely. Captain Duskill. She's a rough tumble elf, I can tell that for sure. She's lost her elfin grace, but don't cross her. Second in command, you know, is Fen. She's also one of the commanders now.
Fen's second in command.
Yeah.
Oh, I feel sorry for that unit. They are going to have a rough time with her. It's going to be good.
I have met Fen once, and that was a. Anyway, and then a few others as well. Obviously, they make up their number.
Amar and Bucky?
Last I heard, they were out on the mission that you employed them on. They haven't checked into this camp or anything like that, and I've never met these two, but I've been told that they are out and doing a mission by the commander.
That's fair. Well, thank you for that. Your brother will probably appear soon. Well, I suppose.
I hope so. I'd love to see him again.
Kelagorm
Maybe.
would appear soon.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
I'll need to be careful of that.
Yeah, we
It's
need
very
to.
true.
If you want him to be your little fly in the wall, then he's
Or he's my
Kelagorm.
master of shadows, or he wants to, you
You
know.
think of an extravagant name, you know what like he is.
That's my brother.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm just, like I say, waiting for this meeting to be over, and then we'll go to the next stage of negotiations of what's going to happen. Because again, if my people are in danger, I know this is a civil war between the Creed, but it's a war on my lands. I need to know that people are safe. I need to know where the battles are happening, and what I can do. So I'm just waiting for that next stage where I can actually input that.
That's fair. Well, personally, how are you
Lovely to
doing?
see you guys again. I'm okay. Being here sets off memories, but I'm okay. Outside of being here, fucking busy. Excuse my my Republican Tyrian, but being a ruler sucks. Like, the free time that we get now is when I sleep. Those lucky few hours that I do before I'm woken up and I have to attend my morning meetings and that sort of, like, I always thought it was like a you know what you read when you get sit down at big long banquets and just host dinners and parties, but is it? Fuck. It's actually doing work.
Yeah. Yeah. Welcome to being a ruler of a country, I guess.
Yeah, I don't like it, but I'll do it. Stubbornly.
Well,
Blame your
Probably
brother.
At this point.
It's his fault.
Hmm?
You blame your own
Yeah,
brother.
well, he
brother?
did bitch out, didn't he? He did sort of dip out, bitch out, however you want to call it. But I know why. I don't hold it
Spectacularly.
against him too hard. Well, brilliantly. Like one for the dramatics, that's for sure.
copied an old legend I heard about Phil old Baggins or something of the sort. I can't remember.
I've heard that one, yeah. It's one of my favourite childhood books.
Yeah. There's one for
Was
books,
that
one.
Dildos Wagons?
You're not there. Shut up.
Dildos Wagons.
You're leaning in through the tent. So I hear Dildos Wagons.
I don't know what you can say there. It's probably not long after this conversation that Joel does emerge in. After being let in by the guard, take his name off the list, you are then let in and you find your friends. And Elena. And Lily also there. Lily comes up to you, Joel. And she sort of like gives you that look like... She's blushing a little bit. She's got that very stern, frowny face and she's... Thank you.
Joel just quickly checked
For-
behind them and just.
Thank
You're
you for
welcome.
saving my life. She says in like that the gritted teeth sort of thing. She can tell she's not one for manners. Very less owing a debt.
I'll just look at her like, you don't have to force manners. I'm not like those guys.
If you
I
tell
had a job to
anybody
do.
that I was nice
did
to
it.
you, if you tell anybody that I was nice to you, you're gonna know what it feels like to be missing a leg. But thank you for saving my life again. Really appreciated. She does the
Joel
awkward
just
like
nods.
slap on the upper arm. Good man. Good man. The two of you guys sort of awkwardly like backward shuffle, not quite sure when to turn around and look away sort of thing.
Alcora's just looking at both of them like...
Just
Okay.
two very ill-mannered people just working out like who dips out first. But switching cameras will I'm back in. Kelleril. Or now Kellergum, should I say. What are you up to right now?
I'm just mingling. I'm maybe like playing dice games with the soldiers,
Mhm.
eavesdropping, just getting intel, getting general idea of morale. Finding if I can hear any nefarious rumors, not so nefarious rumors.
If you could, then make a perception check for me, please, to eavesdrop in on these conversations and gather information.
That is 30-20.
30-20. Well, the question of morale depends on who you're eavesdropping in on. Now, the soldiers from Brazen Fort, morale's quite high. There's a genuine buzz, there's genuine excitement of, we're going to work with a secret organization to take them down from the inside. This sounds all, exciting. We're going to defend the people from this boogeyman of Lorenthal. Morale's quite high there. Switching over to the Creed side, not so much. There's definitely the attitude of the doom and gloom of fighting your own brother and sister. There is that. I've got friends there, but they chose that side. There's the attitude of what's going to happen to the Creed going forward. This is a big crack. Can it become whole again, or is this going to be one war that just escalates to all the Sanctoriums turning on one another? Who's going to be next to step out of line? If they do, what's going to happen? The attitude amongst the Creed, they're ready to fight, but there are some who are definitely like a wish they didn't have to attitude. And that comes from drips and drabs of passing conversations and, just picking up vibes and that sort of stuff. Very easy to read for you.
Can
Playing dice games and that sort of stuff. Yeah.
Can I begin my first disinformation campaign?
Your first disinformation campaign, okay.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Your campaign.
I want to try and subtly manipulate some of the Creed soldiers.
Okay.
I just want the phrase. And I said it's just to boost morale in a way that two can only keep a secret if one of them's dead. Just dispersing it throughout the ranks.
Okay.
Sorry, what are you trying to spread?
Two can keep a secret if one of them's dead.
And you're just telling that to a camp full of armed people.
I'm just sprinkling it into conversation.
When two people, a camp made up of two groups of people who don't trust each other, with a third group of people who don't trust each other, and you're
This
telling
is
them
an
to start killing each
organisation that's
other.
built off not trusting each other, Joel. I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, starting a civil war among the people who are about to fight a civil war.
Well, you start spreading this, and as you subtly say these lines, someone like, yeah, it's true, isn't it? Yeah, that's a good point. Very well made. Huh. They look over at different tents, and you know.
I'm just sprinkling in with. We can't really trust these other Creed defectors, can we? They know too much
No,
about
but this makes you wonder which ones you can trust ultimately.
Let's try and game.
Trying times.
You want to up your bet on this hand or what?
You're all cool. He chucks in a few coin. Roll a d20 for me, please.
17.
Tell me what you get. No modifier. 17. I shooting out rolls. Roll a 17. You start making money. You then start losing money. You end up, before you realize Joel will mock you if you lose any more gold, you call it quits and you break even.
Comes back broke again.
And I'd say a good, 15, 20, maybe been pushing it out probably for your campaign. Comes to its end, you, start feeling maybe it's time to go find your buddies, unless you want to do something different.
No. I'd probably go find them after I've
I
done
just love how, if we're gonna have someone spread misinformation, the one person doing it is the one person who looks like they would spread information in steel. The guy who dressed head to foot in black leather, covering his face except for his eyes, is going around spreading misinformation, and they're trusting him. It's
well, you don't know that.
I'm a bit of a secret broker.
He's wearing a
He's
sign on his head essentially that says, "I am a criminal," and he's just walking in and just. So, guys, see these other people? Can't trust anyone, can you?
Well, as you make your way back, Caliborn, you can see again as you approach the.
Just general attitudes amongst the Creed. Have I noticed a change at all in their morale going into this? Does it seem
Make a
to
fresh insight check. Make an
Okay.
insight check.
It's 16.
16. Even with these early doors, you can start to. You might not feel. It's not so much the morale is shifted, but there's a fresh perspective that's starting to circulate. Is what I'll say.
Okay.
But as you again approach the what do you call it, the tents that your friends are within, the Brazen Fort HQ tent, you again see this ragtag group of people. They're sitting outside. Only thing that's different is you can now see what seems to be an oddly dressed Creed member is sitting even further on the outside than they are. Halfling-sized individuals sitting on the crate right now, just sort of kicking their legs idly, swinging beneath their body, wearing this half Creed mask. It's weird how to describe it, and again, they're not paying any mind to them, and this group aren't paying any mind to this individual either. But you again talk to the guard, and once more.
Is it? You're saying a half Creed mask? Is that like
Yeah, so it's
from the
almost
other
like
ones?
no, it's literally
No.
like a normal Creed mask. It's grey in color, but from the nose up, it's open. You can see the person's eyes, forehead, and
Oh, okay.
speck of hair that falls down, but you can't see their bottom jaw or anything past the bottom of the nose.
Any discernible features that I might recognize?
They're halfling in nature. They have very green eyes, some brunette hair that comes in like a little curl.
Fen.
This is not
That's
Fen.
fine.
No, this is
Okay.
definitely not Fen.
Good to know. I don't
But yeah.
pay any more attention and go on my way.
No problem. You again get to the tent. The guard lets you in after a quick name check, and again escorts you in, and you see all your friends plus Joel and your sister, sitting in the room.
Give her a hug.
Yeah, the second that you come in, she is up from the chair she's sitting on and pulls you in for a very, very tight embrace.
What are you doing out here?
Well, I heard there was a civil war in my country, and as its ruler, she gives you a bit of a stern look at that point. I figured I'd weigh in my 2 cents.
I guess
Need to protect the people.
just exchange some pleasantries. And how is everything going? How are you coping?
I'm alright. Coping's a different word I would use. Struggling on is one I'd use, the phrase I'd say. But we're getting there. Every day I'm learning something new, and politics and the way of the world and how much I hate politics again, and just so much. There's so much. But it's been handy having all the friends I've made. Emmerich's been a great help in keeping me informed of some of the other goings on, like in the magical world, because I've no fucking clue that sort of stuff. Lily's been keeping me safe, and the lines trying to get a bit of a shake up right now. Everything's changing, hopefully for the better.
Is there anything I can do to help?
Keep me informed. I don't rightfully trust everybody in this camp, but keep me informed.
I'll just relay what I've kind of picked up about morale at this point in time. Just any whispers going around the camp.
Yeah, and the whispers were mainly again how these plague warriors or plague soldiers were freaking out. Some of the Brazen Foot Guard, not freaking out as like it's actually scared, but just like these guys are weird, sort of thing. And again, just the Creed morale is not a rock bottom, but it's bleak. But you've now spread your little spear campaign to try and boost it up, sort of thing.
If you had any news from the north?
How far north do you want to talk? Do you want to talk about Anthir's people, the House of Iron, or do you want to talk about the Thunderbrands?
Well, indicate over to Galder. I'm sure he'd appreciate any news, but I was mainly referring to the Thunderbrands. Did that scouting party?
Well, they're still on mission. They did send a Raven back a week ago, so we know they're still out there. They have one more Raven left to send. The rule was after they send the second Raven, they then return back. And we've yet to receive said second Raven, but that's not unusual yet. From what the initial scout was reporting is, they're pushing the edges of the mountain range again, sort of drawing it in line with the monastery, but not quite there yet. So instead of now pushing onwards, the scouting parties are going to hold fast at the monastery or surrounding areas and see what they do. See what happens there.
I fear that they're waiting for a sign. I fear that
We'll see what happens with them.
if there's open warfare amongst the Creed, they might see that as an opportunity.
There's a chance. And that thought has crossed my mind, and that's why I'm getting the Lions ready for a bit of a reformation to shake them up. Because the Lions need some rework, and the structure isn't the best. So I need them to be a bit better.
I'll try to gesture towards everyone else just so they can chime in, but I believe our plan is to head north. See where those dragons went.
Good to know. And Counthia, some news from north. We've managed to secure your plot of land. We've in negotiations right now with the councilman of Southbond, but we've bought land for you. And we're going to be sending some materials to start building a grand hall.
He's a little taken aback. I don't remember asking for that. I remember talking to the council, to the ambassador, but
Yes, well, when your ambassadors, I know he probably gave you a bit of a hard time, but forgive me for assuming, but I think I know what you wanted.
If anything.
Well, you have my apologies. But when you're the queen, it does come with some perks of the job. And for the favors that you've done with us, the very, very least I could do is give you something in return. So I've been in negotiations, as mentioned. We've secured a plot of land, and in a few days' time, I believe an airship's going to go to drop off the first place. And we're going to build you a grand hall. Call it the House of Iron.
There is not much for me to say other than thank you. And
you're very welcome.
Whatever happens to the House of Iron, if I am successful or not, I'm sure that the people that will follow me will pledge fealty to because of the things you have done.
It would be appreciated, but of course not necessary. This is... think this is friends helping out friends. But I would like also to say that, having a bit of a stronger foothold in the South Bond could help strengthen ties between these two nations, and having you and your people helm that, I think is a good change.
Well, I mean, I don't see why they shouldn't be combined. I mean, I think this is the antithesis of what I've been trying to convince my own tribe before. And I would love to see their face of the old idiots as I come back with another nation allied.
I think that'd be a very powerful statement. But
I think it would as well.
Again, between friends, as if there's anything I can do to help, of course. But between ambassadors, you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours.
I think that seems like
strengthen ties. She extends a hand out towards you. You have a deal then, friend.
Calanthe will take it, but more in the sort of like his way, instead of not really still understanding a handshake. It's more of the sort of like, like arm to arm sort of deal instead of the hand. It's like a firm. It's gentle, but it's quite firm. Yeah.
She's initially wasn't expecting it, but she leans into she can feel her hand tighten around your forearm as you go in for that, and she's like, "There we go."
One more thing. Is Emmerich here? Or was he left?
He is here, yeah. No, he's here. He's somewhere in the camp. I don't know where exactly, but Emmerich's here, yeah.
I would like to have a word with him.
Of course, yeah. I'll see if I can try and summon him and bring him in, of course. He talks very highly of you as well, so...
We will see. Now I'll kind of go back to sort of, he'll just leave the conversation at that point, essentially.
Yeah. She does frown a little bit, but nothing too, like, like a angry frown. It's like a, huh, that was weird frown. One of those ones. And she, again, speaks to the same guard, and did you get the ice yet? We've got the ale, we've got the water, but no one's got ice. And the Creed don't just make, they don't have an ice machine or anything like that. Shit, find something. Please. Try to strengthen bonds here. Okay, find Emmerich. Yes, Your Highness. But from that point, maybe about it doesn't take long from there. Excuse me. Perhaps 10, 15 minutes before you hear the tent flap from the main chamber flap open. And you can hear a lot of footfalls coming. One heads directly towards your one, and the tent opens. You can see Commander Rocknest enter. Well, am I glad to see you guys. You're a sight for fresh eyes, Valkorus and gang. Twilight Company.
Commander.
Twilight Company. Are we gonna get stuck in a loop here, Valkorus, or are you gonna actually, like, talk?
What do you want me to say?
How are you?
Well, I think we got a little bit more information and a little bit more things that happened out in the Green Forge. But yeah, we're planning to move on to
Anything that I should be
dragons.
concerned about, or
The dragons.
dragons?
From a weirdly reliable source, they might be the ones to make the move first.
Very well. Things are quite sprung up here, so this could kick off at any minute between the Creeds, so this whole situation is a tinderbox ready to go up.
Do you need those?
It's very delicate. I want to say yes, but I know that if you gotta deal with these dragons, that's where you're best put. So, we'll handle the Creed and the Civil War.
Trust you, Commander.
If you want to input, I'm not gonna say no if you want to stay and fight, but... You know, I'll leave that ball up to you. If you think you have more pressing matters up north, then you chase that lead.
I think we have to look after the dragons before they make a move.
Where's the camp gone?
The camp just
Sorry.
disappeared. Wait.
Everyone just
Hello?
left.
Anybody?
Immersion.
Gosh, that was terrifying.
Yeah. I think we need to go and find out what the dragons are up to before they make a move. They could completely blow open this whole thing.
Not to shit on
Well-
you, Valkorus, but if they do make a move, what are we going to do about it?
You were just talking about taking down an immortal being, were you not? Anyways,
Who's relatively human-sized and not a fucking dragon or an army of dragons?
the dragons are killable.
With just 5 of us against however many?
You underestimate what we can do together. But, yeah. We need to find out where... I don't know if you've ever heard that a dragon's door is. And that's our hunt.
Doesn't ring a bell for me personally, but I try to concern myself with more military things these days. Speaking of which, there's a couple of people that I'd like all of you to meet. I think it would be wise for you to meet the Good Doctor, and also the new Mirage unit.
Sounds good.
Just for the simple sake of even just saying hello, if nothing else.
Understood.
Definitely interested in talking to this doctor.
He's a you'll see.
Commander, one thing. And I'll look around and try and pull them all away a bit from everybody else. Not far away from the group, like the Twilight Company, but everybody else essentially.
Yeah.
How's a man Bucky doing?
They're scouting up north, as requested. We haven't had word back since they left, really, so I'm not too sure, but... Amar was very pleased to see Bucky, obviously, and excited to go on the mission. Bucky also seemed very enthusiastic. Maybe too so, but that's Bucky. Hard to
Well.
read. But they had their assignment, they had their mission.
We're
I'm
letting
waiting
him
for a
free.
report back still.
We're letting him off a leash. Bucky, I'm talking about. This is his hunt now. Amar's gonna have to do a good job
Alright,
to
then.
keep him controlled.
I have full confidence in Amar and his abilities.
So do I. Alright, well, let's meet this doctor first, eh?
Well, he's actually waiting right outside. I kind of figure you want to meet him ASAP.
Alright.
Oh, and Miss Lavender, so in the lower tone, your mother is here, by the way. You might know that already, but no, she's in this tent, just in case. No, I don't want any nasty surprises for you, okay? But, excuse me. Let's go meet the good doctor himself. Dr. Custodius, if you'd like to come in here. And you can hear of a heavy, heavy footfall. The tent door in your compartment opens, and you see a very similarly colored, large suit of armor. Again, this lighter green with these gold trimmings. It stands about 6 foot tall, but is very broad. It is a shell of green with gold trimmings. Thick legs support a torso, which looks like it has too many limbs. And as you look, you can see there are 2 arms where they should be, but clearly folded into the stomach of the suit is another set of arms. But instead of having hands, they have tool-like appendages where the hands would normally be. The back of this armor holds a very large variety of thick wires, but more importantly, a very thick glass tank of some sort with a pump that moves up and down, in its own steady pace. The pump looks like it's then connected through tubing to the helmet of the suit that has a complete glass front but a totally covered back. Looking through this glass, you can see a male figure. The only way we can tell he's dwarf is from a thick, messy beard that disappears into the suit beneath the chest. However, his left eye seems to have lenses surgically attached into his forehead in a raised monocle sort of way. And he enters the room, again, these thick motions. You can tell that each motion is effort. It is a pleasure to meet you all. My name is Dr. Castinius, leader of the Lost Dream Sanctorium.
Nice to meet you, Doctor.
A pleasure is all mine.
I've been having a look at your work, and it's impressive. Curious to
I'm
see how you managed
assuming-
it.
You can't leave that suit as well.
This is my eternal sarcophagus. You're quite right. Working amongst the plague for too long, my body is ruined. This suit is both my savior and my prison.
So you were researching the plague.
I still am. I never stopped. Ever since the king appointed us to look into the Dream situation, I have been helming its investigation.
I have to say,
Yeah, the Centaurium that was forgotten.
I'd like to, at some point, talk about your work privately, if I might. I'm something of a, I'm something of a scientist myself. Literally went to
that
say
you,
it, and I was like, ooh. Mr. Defoe.
Well, when we have time, I wouldn't mind sharing. It's been a while since I've divulged, but there are more pressing matters at hand.
If you say so.
War is afoot amongst the Creed, and it sickens me. We're supposed to be the betterment of civilization, and yet here we are, bickering and about to turn on one another. I strongly believe that my sanctorum was the only one still fit for purpose, and that is the preservation and research for life, whilst the others pursued their selfish gains. That's enough, Doctor, a certain Mary Silversong says, entering the camp. We leave that conversation at the negotiation tables. Please, do not bother our friends with that. Sorry, just raising a point.
Out of
I know.
respect,
I'm sorry.
I actually like to hear what the doctor's got to say.
She still looks over, again wearing the mask, looks between you, looks at the doctor. Go ahead. Whilst they bickered and created their war machines, he gestures Lucy to where Behemoth 6 would be, we tried to save a lost city, prevent a plague from spreading. Many of my members died, and when we asked for more aid from the Creed, we've largely been denied. Our research has been our own. So whilst you guys drag me into war, I will not be part of this silently.
That's respectable, Doctor. Honestly. As somebody who's been part of war quite a bit. I understand. War's not nice, it's not. And this civil war between the Creeds, something that you've dedicated your life to, quite literally. I understand that it must be frustrating seeing it fall apart, because I would imagine the intentions of the Creed originally were to be good, but then it's spiraled into something else. But this is the point of this, Doctor, is to try and put it back on the track, the right track.
Inside the suit, his head nods. So I am being my beliefs to be told. And I will go along with this as I say, but I will not stand for this just to be another bloodshed. For one to come further down the line when the next power-hungry leader takes over.
Well, hopefully it never comes to that.
You see Mary, that comment, that slight jab, Mary sort of rubs her arm slightly at that jab.
Hopefully it never comes to that, Doctor.
I sincerely hope not. Apologies for my negativity, but it's been a very frustrating day. And I would like to depart to my chamber.
Nice to meet you,
It was a
Doctor.
pleasure meeting you, as brief as it was.
Good night.
Miss Silversong? Doctor? And with that he turns and stomps out. Not in an angry motion, but just because his suit is that heavy, stomps out of the chamber. Miss Silversong sighs heavily. Well, that's the Doctor.
An interesting man.
He's
if
a
you can
good
call
man.
him that anymore.
Well, that's the debatable. He's still alive, unlike his soldiers, but yeah, he's a good man.
Ah. So you know that as well.
Didn't know that until he came along with them. I didn't know that he'd been researching something of that, but he's right in saying that he and I haven't conversed before, so I didn't know. And that is probably my fault.
I was meaning to talk to him about those soldiers outside. Probably a
Well,
good thing not everybody knows about it yet. Might cause a panic.
No, we are still definitely making sure that that is kept under Creed wraps, just to make sure that everyone's okay. I don't want to cause alarm.
As she loudly announces next to Commander Rockhurst.
The commander, you can just see he nods. You're guessing he's already been informed at this
Yeah.
point. He's in the know. Well, how are you all? I know last time we met it or spoke, so it wasn't exactly on friendly terms. And how are you?
I'll nudge Lavender a little forward.
I was gonna say, I'm picturing everyone just turning and
It's a
staring at Lavender.
Lavender.
Billy circles are in.
Everyone just hands up and walking
Everyone's
out
just-
of the tent.
We're fine.
Really happy to hear that.
Hmm.
I probably have some thing to attend to. I'll see you guys around, maybe. I'll be in the airship if you need me. She says that, her eyes sort of linger on Lavender a little bit. Goodbye.
Good night.
The commander who's been set this whole time is just like, wow.
Elnvir
No.
wanted his ice. I think it's all in this tent.
It's fucking cold in here. Anyway,
Talking of which,
how
did they bring that
about
ice?
we... From
I
outside
think
you hear,
I think
"Oh, shit."
Palantir's gone to look for it.
Opus gonna go look for the ice. He's given up waiting.
As soon as
Um,
Mooney walked in, Calanfear walked out.
But no. The commander in turn see, well, how about, like I say, let's meet some friendly faces. Who are genuinely friendly faces. This new Mirage unit that you asked me to put together. Tried to assemble the best that I could. And I think you might like my lineup. There is one that's still under a, how do we call it? Interview process, see if they're fit for the job or not. We're gonna do that tonight, the final discussion.
An interview process. I'm quite sure. I remember I was part of the Rough Tides, and you basically picked me out and threw me into basic training. I didn't even get an interview. Lucky them.
Well, here's the thing. Neither did anybody else here, apart from this one person, as they're a Creed nominee.
Oh, I see.
So we are seeing how that will go. And tonight is their proving night, we called it.
All right. Well,
But let's go say hi to the gang.
after you, Commander.
Everybody on your best behavior now. And the commander walks out. And as he steps out, you guys all follow suit. And he steps into the sunlight, or the setting sun of the evening. And with a voice that almost makes you stand to attention, of course, when he calls out Mirage Unit. And with everyone in this Legend Mirage Unit snaps to attention, and part of you stiffens up automatically hearing that before you, wait, that's not me. Instinct. And you can see that he comes in, and you can see a lineup happen. You can see that standing in front of everybody else is this female elf. You can then see from scrambling from behind the box, Fen. In her massive fucking plume of red hair, chaos imbued form that is, freckled cheeks, wide smile on her face. You can see. Let me double check this one here. Sorry, 2 seconds. I'm just counting up things. 2 dwarfs, 1 male, 1 female. Bear close resemblance to one another. You can see a male half-orc, a female gnome, and then two humans, 1 male, 1 female. Sorry, I actually had to go through and see the list there of the different races, but
No
that's
problem.
the lineup you see before you. Allow me to introduce you all to the new Mirage unit. Captain, if you mind taking the lead in this one. Certainly. It would be my pleasure, Commander. Good afternoon. My name is Captain Duskill, Inadia Duskill, and I am the new captain of this Mirage unit. My second in command over here is Fen. I believe you guys are already acquainted.
Mm-hmm.
For my magical practitioners and long-range artillery, I have Tai Longon. She points to the female human. We have Mimir, points to the half-orcish male. These guys are the finest magic users that I know, and they'll keep us safe in the magical and arcane arts. My
Sorry,
up-close and
was it Lamir?
personals-
Sorry, was Lamir for the half orc?
Mimir. Mimeer. Mimir.
Okay, M-I-M. Cool.
My up-close and personals, we have Hurt. She points to the male dwarf who grunts very harshly back. He is the Dwigan dwarf, and you can see he's carrying a very, very, very thick warhammer. That's twice the height of he is, sort of thing. Typical dwarf attitude. We have Hortix Palehand, points to the female gnome. Don't leave your coin purse around her, please. And we have Fission Dask, and you can see a man with a sword and shield at his side. Just gives you a little cocky little salute sort of thing. And for our ranged artillery, we have Illirin Testrar, points to the male elf, and the sister of Herd Karas Bahar. And you can see that the female dwarf, again who bears close resemblance to the male, gives you a very friendly smile and wave. Interestingly enough, her back, she carries this very large, you've never seen it before, wooden thing on her back. And at her side are very different levers and pulley systems. And this is the Mirage unit. +1, she says, looking over to the person who sits on the side, and Elleril, this is the person you saw earlier, the half-creed mask halfling who sort of sits on the side. This could potentially be our healer if they prove themselves tonight. What was your name again, sorry? And the halfling sort of shuffles off the crate and sort of stands at the edge of the group, hands in pockets. It's Gale. Gale Greenwhistle. Yeah, that was it. Sorry. Too many names these days. But if Gale proves themselves, they will be part of the unit.
Well,
It's a pleasure to meet one of the original members of the Mirage unit as well.
pleasure to meet you, Captain.
Got high. The bar is set quite high.
Just don't do what we done in the end.
Ben's been telling me about your exploits and adventures, so
Ben,
sounds like I've got a good life ahead of me then.
oh, actually, I'll say Captain Dusko.
Mm-hmm.
Request to allow Finn freedom of speech and freedom of movement.
She looks over and both you guys look down and Fen is visibly vibrating, like she is actually shaking right now. Of course, permission granted.
And I'll drop to on my knees and
figure. Yep, the second that she said, there's a massive yippee and a bolt of energy as you drop to your knee and just barely had time to catch Fen in your arms as she runs and just bows into your chest with a big, big hug.
Finn, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you doing? God, it's been ages.
Second in
And the
command.
rest of you guys as well. Oh, don't even tell me about it. How'd that happen? Did you ever think?
Nope, Finn. I don't think I could still imagine it, to be honest.
It's amazing. Wow, I guess I need some experience, but they offered me captain, but I don't want to be captain because that's the much responsibility I have. So instead, I take the second in command. That way, I can keep the guys right, but not quite go the way. You know?
Yeah, I get the gist. Yeah.
Wow. And the rest of you guys, what Lavender? The Rogue One! Joe! Calthier! Oh my gosh! It's amazing! Hi!
This is Brownie. He wasn't with us last time.
Oh, you got a bear?
You can ride him. As long as you give him
I
a
don't want to. I don't want to ride him. She comes over to its side, and with her small fat sack, she reaches out and immediately belly scritches, and the back leg of Brownie starts to tremble before it stomps like a rabbit. Before there's a as Brownie rolls onto his back, legs up in the air, and there's a two-handed Fen going in about his stomach right now. I fucking love bears.
Maybe we should have strapped the ration to the bear.
During this is happening.
How you guys been?
During that's happening, I'll saddle up behind next to the captain.
Yep.
Take care of him.
I will. Trust me.
Finn's a tough one. She can manage herself. Let her leash go a few times. She'll be happy for it.
Funny, the commander told me something very, very similar.
Mhm.
I will not lie, I initially had my doubts, but you hear it enough and she comes in highly recommended, so I'll believe it.
Have you been in battle yet?
Not with these guys, but I personally have, yes.
Wait
But
until
we
you see
haven't fought
Finn.
together yet. Oh. Can't wait for the day.
Good luck. We'll probably meet paths at some point again.
That'd be nice. Though, whilst I have you guys, would you mind helping prove Gale over here? See if they're worthy of our ranks.
You have something in
What
mind?
do you need us to do? Stab someone? See if you can patch them up?
No. No. The thing is, we have... I sort of came up with an idea. This person's supposed to be our... keep us upright. Our healer. And I want to see how they'd cope in a high-pressure situation whilst under fire. Could they cope? So what I would need... I'd let you pick which team you're on. I'd either need you to be attackers, or I need you to be people in need of aid and rescuing. I want them to prove themselves either way.
I was. No, never mind. Carry on.
Galanthir's gonna like smash his fist into his hand and just kind of like wide eyes, like sort of like it's like fetch, like the game fetch. And he's like, it's kind of like it's almost like if you were talking rugby to some guy who's like been like fucking doing rugby his entire life.
I think you have your answer.
You play this... Fair enough.
A form of
So
game.
attack is
It's a little different, but a form of game. It's a little rougher, I assume. It's only the
Very well.
Leonin play it at the camp, and sometimes our orcish brothers can manage, but the squishier ones cannot play, unfortunately. So I'll go a little easier, I suppose.
Okay, well, don't hold back too much. Again, I want this to be as real as it can possibly be without actually endangering lives genuinely. So I need
Okay.
this to be real.
Captain.
So again, you
You
I
should
will
go
say-
drop the axe.
you can do damage, but I need them in one piece.
Captain.
Okay?
You're part of the
Captain.
Mirage unit now. It's gonna be rough. No fatalities. It shows what you've got.
Oh, this isn't for me. This is for... We're gonna be downed. They've got to pick us up and get us out of here.
Oh, whatever comes.
This is a testing ground for Gale.
You need to be
You hear
strong.
that, Gale? And Gale looking over at the corner has been like, again, hands in pockets. I'll try. Sure, yeah. Seems easy enough. Looks over at you guys. Nods. I can do that.
Are you a cleric?
Of sorts.
They're a
That's it.
necromancer. They're just a late healer.
Ben.
So that meme it's
Well,
like, Doctor, my
well-
leg's broken, help me. Necromancer, cock a gun, I'll do you one better.
Ben.
Well.
Just
And as she comes back, you can see that she's like her fingers, like between her knuckles, is covered in bear fur.
mind the exercises we used to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which ones? We did a lot of exercises.
That's true. The ones where we fought. Keep our battle ready up.
War games. I fucking love war games.
Yep. But here's the thing, Finn. You were always on the attacking side. Always. Unfortunately, you need to be on the defending side this time.
Just Galanthir's just gonna be against me.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Bring it, small one.
Bring it, big one. I'm gonna squish your belly so hard.
That's
So,
a little strange, but okay.
Yeah, but it threw you off, didn't it? In battle, don't get distracted, pussy.
All, all Ben's gonna do is just throw a ball of yarn
Oh.
across the field and just watch his Galanthir just runs off.
No, it won't be one. It'll just be one fucking leap across.
They just strip
So,
a big ball of yarn at a catapult and just go, Galanthir, fuck off.
So with avoiding mortalities, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Of course.
What would be our goal?
Well,
If
that's
you're
what I was going to
ready.
say. If you want to, everybody pull in, and everyone pulls in. The Mirage unit as well pulls in. Commander, Rocknose at the edge, up arms folded. And you can see as well that even a few of the passers-by, the soldiers, both Creed and Brazen Fort Militia, also just sort of anyone else nearby begins to gather around and listen in. Tonight's war games are for the proving grounds for our Gale here. Gale puts their hand up. Yes, Gale? My name is Artisan, please. Artisan. Artisan's proving grounds, where they will see if they have what it takes to be part of the Mirage unit. The war game tonight is a worst case scenario. The Mirage unit have been ambushed from a lethal attacker. Artisan plus 2 others are the only ones standing. An Artisan must rescue either by getting them up there and then or extracting down Mirage unit members. Fatality is not an option for both sides. Authorization of hurting one another is completely authorized, so no punches will be pulled apart from the final one. If you feel that you cannot go to the fight anymore without being severely hurt, just play dead. Admit defeat and play dead. That goes for everybody here. I do not want to legitimately need to bury anyone. Mirage unit or attacking force. Artisan, for you to pass, you need to rescue the Mirage unit. Quitting out is not an option in this team. And in the case of absolute worst case scenario, I need you to prove yourself. Artisan nods. Sure, I can do that. Any questions from Mirage unit or attacking force?
When do we start?
How serious do you want me to be about this?
Just don't kill anyone,
How
can't
serious
you?
can you be?
Yes, but like that's
Rules are simple.
don't kill someone is very vague. I'm going to be honest. Like,
I
Listen, if
second
you-
that.
All right, don't kill
I
MD.
get
Don't
that.
chop off
he gets
limbs.
it, like, he
Like
understands.
a
Like,
sword
am I
wound
using
through-
am I
a sword
using my
through the leg
abilities here?
could
Am
be
I
lethal.
using what am I doing here? Do you
Again,
want me
every-
to just
You
Everything can be lethal. If I
however you-
stab someone, that's lethal. But if I stab
Again.
through the leg, it's not. If it's left untreated.
Well, here's the thing. Magical users use your magic abilities. This, and again, of course, you notice as well that it basically comes down to the individual being attacked. If you cannot take pressure anymore, if you're getting too hurt, too injured, you play dead. You will drop down, drop your weapon, I am out sort of thing. But for the most part, war games is played with full intent. Magic users will cast spells that hurt. Fireballs have been thrown before. Abilities to slow the enemy have been used before. And people with swords and shields will clash and sparks will fly. And yeah, you'll stab each other.
Awesome.
See during when she was explaining the whole attackers come in, there's only 2 standing up. Artisan has to come in and save. I'll look towards Rocknursk because it's very familiar.
Mm-hmm. He catches your eye but holds it and then looks away. Again, his facial expression is still very stern as he's listening to this war game.
All right, let's see what you've got, new Mirage unit.
The game starts in an hour. Prepare yourselves. We'll set up the arena. Just normal bits of cover. You know, a few things you can hide behind. That's that sort of stuff. We'll organize between ourselves who's down and who's not. And Artisan, it's up to you to see what happens with the rest of it. Artisan just nods. I got this. Very well. We'll see you guys in an hour.
All right.
curiosity, just as we are walking away, can I say in Elvish to Falcoris? How do you feel about the trade being Parashina?
And Elvish shall reply, not entirely sure to be honest. But the Mirage Unit's something else. If they go in the same sort of missions we did, then she'll find a bond with them over the creed. Sorry, is artisan female? Male? Get the flood?
Hard to tell. With
Okay.
the armor that they wear. Hard to tell.
See, when those two are doing that in Elvish, can I just turn round to them and say, in Celestial?
It's just trumpets. That's all it is. It's just fucking trumpets.
Can you two speak in a language everyone can fucking understand?
I'll literally switch to common, like literally talking to Elro and the Elven and instantly turn to common and just say, I don't know what the fuck you're saying, Joel.
Exactly. Now you know how it feels. Use English around us. Sorry, use common around
What
us.
the fuck is English? I don't know what English is.
I'm just gonna scream at both of them and Leon need to shut up.
Wait, where's Jesus? Jesus, do you know what English is?
You let him into camp, you idiot.
Hello!
Him and the demon dog, they're still with us.
Joel, as you say that, you hear the sound of railroad tracks in the background. Just over the hill, a little minecart goes into the distance.
A giant feather duster descends from the sky.
But as you guys are walking away, if anyone to look at, if anyone to look over your shoulders, make a quick perception check.
Oh, I will. 100%.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I
that
did
20
say
for 28.
You're over my shoulder.
Oh, there, feet. Recently.
That's so...
This isn't a surprise, no.
Okay.
28.
Not an
So that
ambush.
20, of course, for 28, perfect.
I got 17.
17,
21.
18, 21.
I'm too excited, man. I'm too excited for this. I'm not bothering. I could listen over my shoulder.
You just want to do war games, aren't you? That's
He's
what
just
you're
buzzing,
talking
he's just like,
Get this game back home. So those you look over again, you can see obviously the group are the Mirage Unit huddled together now, discussing plans with Artisan, or Gale as their actual name is, sort of in the middle of the group discussing things, and they're very much blocking off Gale's line of sight from you, but Falcoris, with natural 20, you can see Gale's handing out something to the group. They're sort of discussing, like, you can sort of see, like, one person you can face, you can probably see Tia, or Tai, sorry, one of the magic users. You can quite clearly see her mouth the words, I'll go down, and Artisan hand her something. You don't know what, it seems to be a very small device, but Artisan hands her something. And Joel, I'd say no role required for this. Clerics wear their symbols of their gods proudly. Even you had the Raven Queen symbol visible to some extent. Artisan didn't have anything. Artisan didn't have a holy symbol or a holy thing out. This will pique your interest a little bit.
Fair enough. War games.
Yeah, I'll pull the group together and just be like, right, it literally is basically use what you can, use your abilities, use whatever you need to, just remind, don't kill anyone. And if they go down and play dead, even though you know they're not, near the point, then leave them, move on to the next person. The whole point is to make them the best of the best. If they can't handle us, they won't be able to handle what the fuck's out there.
How do you do healing in this sense? If one of us does go down.
Well, you use your abilities. That's the whole point.
I
It's a real
fix
life
you,
scenario.
as usual.
Okay.
Enemies out there are going to heal each other as well at some point.
Again, you know as well that for war games, you play similar situations. For example, in this one here, yeah, we'll see a group is a setup sort of thing. So in this situation here, Amar would still have to spend the energy to heal someone, in air quotes. So you still, for technical expel the spell slot, even though the person who's actually healing is already at full health on the ground, who pretend to be dead, sort of thing.
Yeah.
But he would still have to expend that energy to actually mimic, right, I need to actually, in real life, burn the energy of my Arcana to pick this person up.
Yeah.
And again, attackers would have to do the exact same things. So, Joel, you're expected, if, for example, one of you guys gets hurt, so if you want to heal, then you can, or if you want to attack, you can attack. But it is a legit fight to as far as a death as it can be. And afterwards, you will get patched up, you will get all patched up afterwards by the clerics. But, yeah, this is a fight.
I'll say we do this with horse rules. Any man goes down, they stay down.
Why? So you can
Joel just comes over and hits him over the head.
ensure when the crew members gets put in inside Mirage. Is that what you want, Joel?
Would that be such a bad thing?
I still don't trust them.
You have a Creed member, well, an ex-Creed member in your group, don't you?
I don't trust you.
I mean,
And yeah, I've
It's a
saved
little
your
much
life.
at this point.
I've saved your life how many times? Who's to say he won't do the same for them?
Joel, you've also betrayed me numerous times. Lest
When
we
have I
forget.
ever betrayed you?
I don't know. Kilgrim just looks at him like,
I've hid things from you.
you've
No.
also recently. I believe we did a stint in Presentport Prison.
That was not betrayal.
Yeah, but what did you do to me when you were
Can
being
I
interviewed?
Can I switch teams now?
no, sorry, Lavender, you're locked in.
If I get put in prison again,
Joel, we're not doing it by that. If you can get us up, act like it's a real scenario. It's a training session for us, not just for them as well.
Yeah. Fucking fine. Let's just get this over with.
Just do me a favour. If somebody's bringing down Fen, and she either plays dead or she goes, well, she will end up playing dead at the end up, but just before you go, tie her up. That'll be funny, because she won't be able to move.
How about you piss off the psychotic little
Fen.
demon, the rest of us will go for the
I'll
others.
be honest with you, I'm terrified of Fen, so somebody else can fight her.
Well, so it's going to be. Again, correct me if I'm wrong, Pat. You said 5 versus 3. Us versus
Yeah, so
3 of
it's
them.
going to start off with you 5 versus 3 of them, with Artisan being one of the 3, and the other 2, they're going to be working out who are the 2 remaining Mirage unit members in this fixed scenario. But if just can do the count, if Artisan does pick up everybody, they will outnumber you.
That's fine.
Good.
Caliph fucking buzzed for this man.
No, Caldea's like, oh, get it going.
Caliphator, me and you, we're just gonna rush them.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Clanty's
Before you
going
can get any of them
full
up.
all in.
Before we can get any of them up, me and you are gonna hit them hard.
Oh yeah.
The rest of you try and keep up.
Actually, if we want to be tactical about it, I think that's a good idea.
If we want to
Whereas
be
me
tactical
and-
about it, I can draw most of their attention. I mean, I'm a fairly
That's not
large
me.
target, and I can take a beating.
We only need to take one of them down. Realistically,
It is true. That is true.
we treat this like an assassination.
They didn't give us any sort of scenario of what intel we have. We could.
Except target the healer.
Perhaps
Except
we
for we
should
don't
just...
know what kind of healer they are.
Right on.
He doesn't seem like a cleric. He had no holy symbols, he had nothing. And when I asked him if he was a cleric, he said of sorts.
Well, I've got a funny feeling Fen will be up. Because Fen doesn't know how to play dead. So Fen will probably be up. I would imagine she would have another magic user up. And an artisan as well.
Well, shall we go get this over with?
Yeah. Well, we need to wait for the hour to be done.
Think we're ready, DM?
Fair enough. So you guys take this time to sit around the outskirts and
War
plan
games,
out.
war games, war games!
And as the hour approaches, you guys, also without anyone trying to come pick you up, you guys begin to just meander your way back through the camp and, head over. And you can tell that there's a genuine buzz in the camp as it's spread that war games are happening tonight. And it's gathering an audience already. Before the game's even started, people are queuing up and making the big circle around this makeshift arena that's been built. So they can try and get up close and see the action as best they can, sort of thing. To the point that even little grandstands are being built where they can actually sit and enjoy places, have a night of fun, basically. The soldiers sort of realize this is probably a good opportunity just to forget about their problems. Yeah, it's obviously fighting, and they're going to be fighting soon, but this is a competition of sorts. They can just use this one little thing to escape for the evening. And it's been made a deal out of. And no one's stopping them. But any leader, you can even see a good point, the good doctor sort of comes up and sees that the activity's happening, but then doesn't participate himself. He goes back into his tent to do whatever it is, but this is gaining activity and hustle and bustle. And
Is there any
you can see...
Sorry.
No, when you go.
No, is there any betting stand?
I knew you were
I'd
gonna
say
ask.
there's not big stats per se, but there are going to be definitely people placing bets, and there's might be
Are
one
there,
person trying to make a more official bookie.
Are there a group of Creed guys and a group of soldiers sort of mixed together in one area that I can go over
Easily
to?
enough, obviously, as groups, so it's as friends sort of gather together in little pockets. There will be points where there are pockets of Creed meet pockets of the Brazen Fort Guard, but aren't mingling directly together, but they're next to each other.
I'll walk over to a group of soldiers and go, I got 10 gold that Gale guy wins.
I'll take that bet.
See you after the fight. And I'll walk back off.
As you say, you can see the Creed guys saying, you think he's gonna win? And then, yeah, of course. You start to see the two groups begin to mingle and interact with each other. And you can see that a few gold coins are produced and put into a little table at the front, or a little bit between them can put hands on. And
Joe will double back and put his coins on the table. Joel's putting his 10 gold.
You can see that there is.
He bets Gale's
People
gonna
are gambling on this.
He bets Gale's gonna win.
You bet Gale's going to win. Take a note.
Joel thinks Gale's gonna win.
Match fixer, fucking hell.
I know, the healer is betting on the other team.
Oh no! Inflict wounds on fucking Kelgorm.
Joel just stabs his own
It's a
leg.
level 1.
Joel just cuts his own throat, man. Joel was like, yeah, Gale's gonna win.
Joel's bestowing
Offs
extreme
himself.
hay fever on our team.
I cast Pollen Cloud.
I cast the sniffles.
That would be a really effective spell by Pollen Cloud. How good would that be? Anyway, you all make way to this arena. Again, it's just a makeshift little fenced off oval shaped arena, sorry. And again, they put up some bits for cover. So there's some crates, there's some barrels, but more importantly, in the centerpiece, there's an overturned, reinforced metal cart that's been tipped onto its side.
Okay.
And you can tell again, Falcoris, to be a simulation of they've been ambushed on the road, the cart's been tipped, it's all going tits up, sort of thing. Again, worst case scenario for a Mirage unit attack. And again, you can tell that all the guys are sort of just milling around, and people are obviously not getting into position per se, but just sort of milling around their spot. You think when they're going to be starting the game, and they all see you come. Captain Duskill approaches you. Good evening.
Evening, Captain.
Gather around, guys. And all the guys sort of come away from the spots and all gather around and meet you all in the middle. How are we all? Ready for a nice clean fight?
Of course.
Good. Now remember, I know this might be Gale's proving night, but please don't make it realistic. Okay?
Oh,
Make it
don't worry.
realistic as best you can.
We will.
Rhythm. It's artisan. Sorry, artisan. I'm gonna have to get used to creed names. Well, when you're ready, someone will blow a whistle or a war horn, and when the war horn sounds, it's war games.
Good luck,
Wish you the
Captain.
best.
I just want
And
to
you?
see. I want to get close to Fen, yeah, and just like, essentially, go. This is going to be fun. I hope you realize that.
Now, Fen, you expect her to talk at 100 miles per hour. She just glares at you. Won't it just be? With a wide grin.
After she's done talking, I will deliberately activate my lycanthrope form, and then just
the middle of
obviously like
camp.
grow, but and then walk back to the starting
You-
point.
As you grow and that sort of stuff, she looks at you and goes, "Oh, I've killed bigger monsters than you. Don't you worry." And sort of takes a wee
We'll
step
see.
back. And as you sort of you look around, you can see everyone's getting in position. You can already see some people begin to lay down on the ground. You see Fen looking at you, draw an arrow, and get ready. That's apparently she is not down.
Okay.
Demon
This is gonna
mode
be fun.
activated.
Okay. Yeah,
And
sure.
you all
Everybody
stand there,
panic.
and you all stand in your positions in two halves of the field. So again, just for a bit of clarification, you can have the reinforced cart is on its side, slap bang in the middle of the semicircle. Again, between it, there's bits of rubber that scattered outside the cart to stimulate the cart being tipped over. Their bodies, for those who have been killed, are on mainly their side of the cart, as if they've been ran behind the cart for cover, but have been killed in the process. No one's really at your half; they're mainly at the halfway line or behind. Fen and Mimir are standing at the back.
Okay.
I'll turn to Calanthir. We rush the healer.
I was hoping I did
Let's
to go for
actually.
Fen.
Fine.
And
You
as
rush
sort
Fen.
of rush
I'll
the
rush the healer.
I should say, Artisan is standing sort of halfway between the back line that is Fen and Mimir and the downed bodies. Artisan's standing about halfway between. But again, he's got a good, 30-foot run between them.
I'll summon my
From you to the
sword
cart.
and then summon
And again,
the
for point of
Mirage
reference,
unit
from your
banner.
back... Nice. From your back line where you guys are all lined up to the cart is 60 feet.
See, what's the weather like?
Everything fair. It's a cloudy, overcast, but dry evening.
You so
And
no,
everyone
you
goes
can't
quiet
use the
as-
raindrops for cover.
And
You
everyone
will
goes
keep
very
it.
quiet. Everybody goes very, very quiet with the expectation of war games. And everyone waits. And you guys all wait, and you can feel your blood boiling in the heat of an anticipation of battle. You can feel that energy build up. Calanthir, in your exaggerated form, you are pumped with adrenaline right now as is anyway from this natural form that you've created. And again, Fen winding you up. Oh, it's gonna be fucking good. Memories coming back from the South Bond, tackling each other in the snow and basically beat each other to a pulp for fun.
Yeah, pretty much.
This is gonna be good. Falcoris, you're having memories again of similar war games, and as you sort of look over, for a minute you swear as you blink, you can see a lineup of some of your friends in the background, but you blink again, it's Fen and Mimir, these new people. But again, that trigger of this is happening, this is war games, this is fun. It's serious, but there's a part of you that is like, yeah, this is quite fun. Lavender, this is fucking weird, man. Like, people are weird. This is just people fight each other. I don't know if you see pointless or not, but we'll see what it's like. And Kelgorm, this is very much again soldier training. You've had your basic combat training when you were a kid and that sort of stuff, but this is something bigger. This is something more. This is something beyond. And you can't help but feel getting washed away in this adrenaline as well. Joe, you're curious. more than anything, what's Artisan gonna do? What's this supposed cleric gonna do? But either you can't get wait to taste it and see it, and maybe put them in their place a little bit. Everyone goes quiet, and there is still, and you can see that in the backline, Fen is an arrow knocked, breathing slowly in and out, very, very calm, unlike how you know her. It's almost like this thing has taken over her mind, as she's put herself in a different plane of existence almost. And you can see Mimir, a staff in hand, rubs his temple a little bit and stares at you all one by one. You can see that he's mumbling to himself, almost like calculating as he looks over. And you can see Artisan, the half helmet, and Artisan sort of like shaking their head from side to side, like jumping up on the spot. And as they get ready, they put their head down a little bit, and from the back, the helmet and covers their full face. And everyone goes quiet again. And the war games begin. And that is where we'll end tonight's episode there.
Just fuck you.
Oh. Yeah, but no, this means that there could be like a good chunk of next session for it.
Yes.
Oh,
like
I don't want to rush this.
out,
This is
it's
gonna be
like
I want to
proper
enjoy.
combat. Why does this feel like Blood Bowl? That's why I'm imagining.
It does.
The thing is, though,
Actually,
this fight is literally perfect conditions for Joel. This is ideal scenario for him. Against two ranged combatants with a big tower shield that has bonus to shield arrow AC and magic anything ranged AC. This is literally
You're the
perfect
tank
scenario.
in this scenario, mate.
It is literally him.
I'm just a sponge.
I'm just
at this
saying,
point.
Joel's first move, Shield of Faith,
The bullet
25
sponge.
ranged AC. Try it. Joel, honestly, wish a bitch would try.
If Joel betrays us, I swear to
Step
God, I
to
will
him,
never
bro.
forgive him.
but we'll get into an exciting game of war games next week. I'm genuinely stoked to see this. Like, I am so fucking pumped.
Yeah.
I thought we would do it tonight, but I'm actually glad we're not doing it tonight, so we have more time to actually next episode just divulge in this, and I cannot wait for that. But obviously, thank you to my lovely players for being with me this evening and joining us for this fantastic game. Thank you to you guys in chat. Andy, anything to say about chat or anything else like that I missed?
Yes, thank you, Mental Defenestration, for our good old raid again. You're too kind. I love
so
you
much.
bringing our community over. Also, Shadow Witch, thank you for following. Also, Dravenstar, thank you for following. I hope you enjoy the good old vibes in here. And yeah,
The Shadows We Fear has a Shadow Witch.
yeah, we have a Shadow Witch.
That's far too important for this campaign.
Fate is following us. No. Our community managers put in the links to go and check out our social media and our Discord. Make sure you come into the Discord, because I'm pretty sure we have a Doom one shot getting lined up and ready to go. So if you want to be involved in that, our good old Matt here is DMing. So yeah, Shadows. I was going to say Shadows Fear. World of Erzia, Sunday, 7:30 PM, and we will be taking this over on a raid just to go over to a Dungeons & Dragons stream. Stephen Hyde, their name is. So be nice to them. Enjoy their community. Be part of the community. Yeah, we'll spread the love. But yeah, thank you very much. Over to you, mate.
Thank you so much. Yeah, we'll get the raid commencing then. So let's do the week countdown,
And it's off.
and then we'll be off. So hope you guys have a lovely evening. Again, thank you for coming along, chat.